What if your mind still dreamed of Mars, but your body couldn't make it out of bed? Elon Musk stared out the window of his Bel Air home, a mug of lukewarm coffee shaking slightly in his hand. The California sunrise used to excite him. Now it felt like a spotlight on the cracks in his armor. He had just turned 59, and for the first time in decades, he felt old. Not tired, he knew tired. He lived in tired. This was different. His joints ached, his back locked up when he sat for too long, and lately, he forgot small things, names, codes, even the reason he walked into a room. Then the phone rang. "Mr. Musk, this is Dr. Lane from the Longevity Diagnostics Lab. Do you have a moment?" He almost didn't pick up. He hated interruptions, unless it was Mars-related. But something about the tone made him pause. "Yeah, I'm here," he answered. There was a slight hesitation, the kind doctors try to smooth over before dropping a truth bomb. "Your test results came in. I'd like to go over them with you, in person." That's when it hit him. Elon, the man who planned to retire on Mars, might not even make it to 60 in good shape here on Earth. For most people, a health scare in their 60s isn't shocking. But Elon wasn't most people. This was the man who went to sleep on the floor of Tesla's factory, who worked 120-hour weeks, who outworked everyone, fueled by coffee, adrenaline, and the pure momentum of innovation. But now, his body was revolting. Sleep no longer recharged him. His energy crashed after lunch. His mood swung, unpredictably. Even his legendary focus, the thing that helped him envision reusable rockets and AI interfaces, felt slippery. He wasn't sick, exactly. But he wasn't well either. Something was off. Systemic. And it was catching up. So when Dr. Lane laid out the findings in his cold, white-walled office in Santa Monica, Elon leaned in, not out of fear, but out of fascination. "Your biological age is clocking in at 71, Lane said bluntly. "You've got inflammation markers through the roof, your cortisol levels are chronically elevated, and your gut biome looks like someone who's been surviving on vending machine snacks." Elon chuckled, even as his stomach sank. "So, I'm dying from Doritos?" Dr. Lane didn't laugh. "I'm saying if you keep going like this, your mind may want to launch rockets, but your body will be stuck in bed." Silence. Then Lane continued. "You have a decision to make. You can keep ignoring this and collapse by 65. Or, and this is a real option, you can start treating your body like one of your companies. Optimize it. Fuel it. Reinvent it." Elon raised an eyebrow. "How long would it take?" "You'll feel a shift in 30 days. Real change. A year. But we start with 3 things. 3 foods. 3 real, powerful changes." That night, Elon lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Not at spreadsheets. Not at rocket schematics. But at his own mortality. He thought of his kids, some who barely saw him growing up. He thought of May, his mother, still modeling and radiating vitality at 75. She used to nag him about food, health, and balance. He always brushed it off. "I'll sleep when I'm dead," he used to joke. But tonight, the joke didn't land. So he did something strange. He pulled out an old wooden box from the back of his closet. Inside, beneath outdated passports and a photo of him and Kimball as boys in South Africa, was a leather-bound journal. May's. He remembered she gave it to him years ago. "You'll need this one day," she'd said. Inside were handwritten notes, food tips, recipes, old newspaper clippings about holistic nutrition. But what caught his eye was a dog-eared page, marked in bold. "The 3 foods that keep me sharp, slim, and strong, no matter my age." He ran his fingers over the words like they were blueprints to a future he hadn't considered. Not one on Mars. But one here, one where his body didn't betray him. The next morning, his assistant Gracie walked into his office to find Elon sitting on the floor, laptop open, researching gut health. "Elon, you have a 9 a.m. with the Artemis team. Push it to tomorrow," he said without looking up. Is everything okay?" He paused, turned, and smiled, not with his mouth, but with something quieter. Something deeper. "I'm starting a new project," he said. "Oh?" she asked. "Myself." Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Before the exhaustion. Before the brain fog. Before the blood work told a different story, Elon Musk was the man who outworked time. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon grew up obsessed with science fiction and space. By the age of 12, he'd coded his first video game. At 24, he dropped out of Stanford after 2 days. His reason? "The internet is happening. I can't just sit around." That decision launched a career that would change the world. PayPal. Tesla. SpaceX. Neuralink. Starlink. Hyperloop. Musk didn't just build companies, he built movements. He didn't chase trends. He created them. For decades, the image of Elon was untouchable, the brilliant, eccentric billionaire who worked through Christmas, slept under his desk, and drank Diet Coke like water. But what the public didn't see, what Elon himself rarely admitted, was the cost. In 2018 alone, he was averaging 120-hour workweeks. He skipped meals, relied on caffeine and fast food, and often treated his body like an afterthought. "You can't change the world if you're wasting time cooking," he once joked. But now, nearly 60, that joke wasn't funny anymore. His physical decline hadn't happened overnight. It crept in, unnoticed at first. A stiff neck here. Some memory lapses there. Nothing serious, until it was. What scared him wasn't just the discomfort. It was the way his thoughts seemed, slower. Foggy. Elon's edge wasn't his charisma or power, it was his mind. If that dulled, what was left? Worse yet, the people closest to him were noticing. "You look tired, Dad," XAEA-12 had said, casually, during a rare lunch. Grimes had texted recently, "You don't have to kill yourself to prove something. You've already done more than enough." Even Kimball, his health-conscious brother, had nudged him, "You keep building the future, but what about your future?" He brushed them off, of course. He always did. But deep down, he knew, no matter how many satellites he launched or gigafactories he opened, he couldn't outrun biology forever. At the center of Elon's story, the reason his decline mattered so much, was his relationship to legacy. It wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about impact. He wanted to die knowing he pushed humanity forward. But how could he do that if he couldn't think clearly, or function? And in the background of all this, one quiet voice from his past kept echoing, May Musk. May was no ordinary mother. She raised 3 kids mostly on her own after divorcing their abusive father. She modeled into her 70s, wrote best-selling books, and lectured around the world on nutrition. While Elon was off building rockets, she was building bodies, showing the world that health didn't have an expiration date. Elon used to roll his eyes at her green smoothies and kale lectures. "That's not science, Mom." But now, as his body signaled distress, those old conversations didn't seem so silly. He remembered a moment when he was 30, visiting May in Toronto. She had just finished a TV segment about healthy aging. "You've got a Ferrari brain," she'd said, handing him a bowl of fermented vegetables. "But you're running it on junk fuel. You'll burn out early." He laughed at the time. But now, as he flipped through her old nutrition journal, the words hit harder. He stared at an old photo taped inside the book. A much younger Elon, maybe 17, sitting next to May at a family picnic. Both were smiling. Both looked healthy, vibrant, alive. He looked up, catching his reflection in the blackened screen of his laptop. Dark circles. Puffy face. Eyes a little too tired for someone who still wanted to live 100 lives. Was it too late to change? He didn't know. But for once, he wasn't thinking in years or missions or product cycles. He was thinking about tomorrow. Just one tomorrow. Could he feel better tomorrow? He took out his phone and called his mom. She answered on the third ring, voice chipper as ever. Elon. You're calling me? What's wrong? Nothing. Or, everything, he said, chuckling under his breath. I've been reading your old notes. The ones about food. There was a pause. You okay? Not really. But I want to be. May didn't rush in with advice or judgment. She just said, good. That means you're ready. That night, Elon made a quiet decision. No tweets. No live stream. Just this. He would rebuild his mind. He would rebuild his body. And it would start with 3 foods. Elon Musk was no stranger to pushing limits. In 2008, when Tesla was weeks from bankruptcy and SpaceX had just failed its 3rd consecutive rocket launch, Elon made a decision that stunned even his closest advisors. He invested his last remaining funds into both companies, at once. Either they both survive, he said, or I go down with them. They survived. More than that, they became the future. But now, 15 years later, that same instinct, to give everything, had worn him thin. He didn't recognize the man in the mirror anymore. Not just physically, though the signs were there, the softer belly, the stiffer gait, the eyes that didn't light up the way they used to. It was deeper. His thoughts weren't snapping into place like they once did. Brain fog would roll in mid-meeting. Names, numbers, designs, things that used to come second nature, now required effort. At Tesla headquarters, people whispered about how Elon's slowing down. At Neuralink, teams hesitated before pitching ideas, unsure which version of Elon would show up, the visionary, or the short-tempered one with a headache and no patience. He felt it too. The fire hadn't gone out, but the furnace was cracked. It wasn't for lack of trying. Elon had always viewed health as a variable, something to optimize later. While others his age were reading up on heart supplements and arthritis exercises, he was diving into AI symbiosis and multiplanetary survival. Sleep is for the weak, he once tweeted. But now, sleep was no longer a choice, it was a necessity. And even when he got it, it felt incomplete. His schedule remained brutal. 6 a.m. wake up. Meetings stacked in 5-minute increments. Flights to Berlin and Shanghai. Crisis calls in the middle of the night. But something had shifted, the cost of that pace was starting to show in public. A video leaked online, Elon at a Tesla Q&A, losing his train of thought mid-sentence. He stared blankly for a full 10 seconds before recovering. The clip went viral within hours. Is Musk burning out? Headlines asked. Memes followed. He laughed them off. But inside, it shook him. One evening, as he sat in the Tesla design studio, lights dimmed, sketches of the Cybertruck scattered around, Gracie, his assistant, brought him dinner, a triple espresso and a wrapped cheeseburger from a place he couldn't remember ordering from. He stared at it for a moment. Then pushed it aside. I'm done with this crap, he muttered. Gracie raised an eyebrow. You okay? No, he said. But I'm going to be. That same night, he pulled up a spreadsheet, not for a product, but for himself. Column A, symptoms. Column B, habits. Column C, notes from May's journal. Column D, Dr. Lane's recommendations. He started cross-referencing. Sleep issues tied to late-night screens. Gut inflammation linked to years of processed food. Brain fog triggered by erratic eating patterns. He mapped his health like he mapped Mars, ruthlessly, logically, precisely. 3 things kept showing up in both the science and his mother's notes. 1. Gut microbiome. 2. Omega-3 deficiency. 3. Chronic inflammation from poor diet. And then, at the center of it all, food. Not supplements. Not injections. Not hacks. It was a humbling realization. For all his accomplishments, reusable rockets, electric cars, satellites orbiting Earth, he had ignored the most basic machine of all, his own body. The irony wasn't lost on him. He'd spend hours obsessing over the thermal shielding of a spacecraft, but shove whatever was in front of him into his mouth without a second thought. He optimized factories, logistics, and launch schedules, but treated his gut like an after-party trash can. You can't out-engineer bad habits, May once told him. He'd laughed then. Now it felt like prophecy. Elon decided on a quiet experiment. 30 days. 3 foods. No announcements, no public commitments, just data. He would track every input, every outcome, every variable. The first step. Clear out the junk. At 2 a.m. He walked to his kitchen and began tossing things out. Soda. Processed snacks. Sugary protein bars. Frozen dinners. By 3 a.m., the fridge was nearly empty, except for sparkling water, a few vegetables, and a bag of almonds. He texted Gracie. New rule. No more mystery food. From now on, everything goes through me. The next morning, he emailed Dr. Lane. Let's begin. Send me the plan. But change, Elon knew, never came without resistance. The backlash was almost immediate. Why is Elon canceling meetings? He's gone off the grid again. Why is he talking about gut bacteria in the middle of a product launch? His executive team looked concerned. Investors were confused. And inside, Elon battled doubt. Was this just a phase? A midlife crisis wrapped in kale? Could he really reverse years of damage just by eating better? But every time doubt crept in, he remembered the phone call. The diagnosis. The truth. If he didn't fix this, he wouldn't make it to 65 with his mind intact. And for a man whose entire identity was built on ideas, that was the one thing he couldn't lose. The sunlit kitchen smelled like turmeric and toasted grains. It was 1983, and Elon Musk was 12 years old, sitting at a chipped wooden table in a modest Johannesburg home, watching his mother crush garlic with the back of a spoon. She was humming, always humming, and wore a white linen apron stained from what looked like beet juice. Her hair, blonde and frizzy, was pulled back into a bun that never stayed tight for long. Why don't we eat normal food? Elon asked, eyeing the strange green mush in the ceramic bowl. May looked up, one eyebrow arched, her South African accent sharp but playful. This is normal food, my boy. It's just not processed garbage. He didn't mean to insult her. But at 12, all he wanted was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, maybe even one of those bright orange sodas his friends drank after school. But with May, food was different. It was intentional. Every ingredient had a purpose. You're growing a genius brain, she said, handing him a spoon. You better fuel it like one. Elon remembered that moment now, decades later, as he sat at his kitchen counter in Bel Air, flipping through May's old notebook. It was filled with facts and scrawls and recipes written in all caps like headlines. Leafy greens cleanse the blood. Fermented foods equals immune rockets. Omega-3s feed the future brain. In the corner of one page, she had drawn a little stick figure lifting a barbell. Under it. You're never too old to get strong again. Growing up with May had been unusual. While other kids had cereal and cartoons on Saturday mornings, Elon and his siblings got chia porridge and lectures on gut bacteria. At the time, it felt annoying. Embarrassing, even. But looking back, Elon saw it for what it was, a mother trying to give her kids a longer, better life, even if the science hadn't caught up yet. She was ahead of her time. A dietitian with a modeling career, she made smoothies before they were trendy. She soaked almonds before it was mainstream. She believed in the power of food to heal the body and protect the mind. And Elon, ever the logic-driven skeptic, had spent most of his adult life ignoring her. Until now. He remembered one summer when he was 17. He had just come back from a friend's house where they'd eaten fast food, stayed up late, and played computer games until 3 a.m. He felt amazing, until he didn't. The next morning, he woke up with a splitting headache, stomach cramps, and brain fog so thick he couldn't finish his math homework. May sat beside him at the table, sipping green tea. "You see," she said gently. "Your body talks to you. You just have to listen." "I think it's just food poisoning," he groaned. "Or maybe," she said, "you're finally realizing you're not invincible." He didn't want to admit it then, but she was right. Back in the present, Elon picked up his phone and opened a blank note. He typed just one word. "Mom." Then he deleted it. Then he typed it again. Then, finally, he called her. She picked up with a warm, almost surprised tone. "Elon." "Yeah," he said, clearing his throat. "Hey, Mom. What's wrong?" "Nothing. I mean, something. But not urgent. I've been reading your notebook." A pause. "The one with the greens and omega-3s? The one with the crazy writing and beet stains?" She laughed. "You mean science?" "I mean, yeah," he said. "Science." There was a quiet pause between them, the kind that held years of pride, misunderstanding, and deep, unspoken love. "Do you remember," he said, "when you told me that fermented food was rocket fuel for the immune system?" She chuckled. "I told you that when you were 6. You cried." "Yeah," he said, smiling. "I remember. Why do you bring it up now?" He took a breath. "Because I think I'm ready to try it." Later that week, a package arrived at Elon's door. Inside, homemade kimchi, kefir, sauerkraut, and a note written in May's loopy cursive. "Start here. Your gut has more neurons than a cat's brain. Feed it well." Elon stared at the jars, skeptical but curious. He opened the kefir, sniffed it, then drank a small glass. It was weird. Tangy. Alive. And for the first time in a while, he didn't feel sluggish afterward. Just, alert. Energized, even. Maybe it was placebo. Or maybe, just maybe, his mother had been right all along. That night, he fell asleep before midnight. No midnight Twitter scroll. No Diet Coke on the nightstand. Just stillness. And a brain, for once, that didn't buzz with static. Every visionary faces a moment when they can either stay on the path that made them, or change before that path destroys them. For Elon Musk, that moment came at 5:12 a.m., standing alone in his kitchen, barefoot on cold tile, staring down a half-eaten breakfast burrito. It was from the usual place, wrapped in foil, reheated, flavorless. The kind of food you eat because you're too busy to care. But now, something had shifted. He picked it up, took one bite, then slowly dropped it into the trash. Enough. He wasn't the same man he was at 30. Back then, running on caffeine and adrenaline made sense. The body was more forgiving. But now, at nearly 60, his body was no longer a machine that could be ignored, it was an ecosystem in crisis. The easy choice. Ignore it. Pretend like nothing was wrong. Keep grinding until the wheels fell off. But that's not what Elon did. Not ever. He'd always chosen the harder path, because that's where the transformation happened. This time, the project wasn't a rocket. It was himself. Dr. Lane's plan hit Elon's inbox that morning with the subject line. Phase 1, Rebuild. Inside was a detailed outline. Goal, reduce systemic inflammation, stabilize energy, repair gut health. Timeline, 30 days minimum. Non-negotiables. No processed sugar, no refined carbs, no industrial seed oils. Priority foods, top 3. 1. Fermented foods, daily intake to reset gut microbiota. 2. Wild-caught fatty fish, rich in omega-3s, critical for brain and joint health. 3. Leafy greens, dense in micronutrients, anti-inflammatory, cognitive boosters. No pills. No crazy hacks. Just food, real food. Elon stared at the list. Simple. Clean. Powerful. But also, inconvenient. Boring. Unsexy. He smirked. The hardest things usually are. Day 1 started with kefir and avocado over quinoa. Elon hated it. By noon, he had a headache. By dinner, he almost caved and ordered takeout. But he didn't. Instead, he drank water, stretched for 15 minutes, and went to bed early. Not because he wanted to, but because his body was asking for it. And for the first time, he listened. The next morning, something strange happened. He woke up before his alarm, without the usual fog. It wasn't miraculous. He still felt stiff. Still craved sugar. But his thoughts were clearer, like someone had turned the volume down on the mental noise. He opened a new Google Doc and titled it Project Elon, Reboot. Each day, he logged symptoms, meals, energy spikes, mood levels. It became a ritual. A mirror. A map. Still, not everyone understood. Why are we canceling the Neuralink session today? One of his engineers asked. Because I need to build something else first, Elon replied. My focus. Can't you just delegate that to a trainer or a chef? I could, he said. But then I wouldn't learn what's actually broken. As the days passed, his staff started noticing changes. He was calmer in meetings. More present. He listened, really listened, without bouncing his knee or checking his phone. And when he spoke, his words carried more weight, not because they were louder, but because they were chosen with clarity. At home, even his son noticed. Dad, you didn't fall asleep on the couch again. Elon smiled. Guess I'm recharging differently now. But it wasn't all smooth. On day 12, a supplier issue in Berlin forced a last-minute crisis call. The old Elon would have stayed up 48 hours, fixed it himself, flown across the world if needed. This time, he stepped back. Delegated. Trusted his team. Because fixing himself meant learning to not always be the solution. It wasn't weakness. It was strategy. One night, he FaceTimed May. She was in New York, prepping for a photo shoot. You look awake, she said, amused. I am, he replied. And I'm not drinking battery acid anymore. She laughed. Told you. You can't outrun your cells. He grinned. You might have been right. About all of it. She paused, then leaned closer to the camera. So what's next? Elon stared out the window. The boring stuff, he said. Sleep. Food. Breathing. Movement. Sounds like a revolution. He nodded. Every great system starts with a power source. I'm just learning to fuel mine better. He hung up and sat in silence. No alerts. No screens. Just stillness. And in that quiet space, a realization settled in. You can't build the future if you're not here to see it. The first food that changed everything didn't look like much. It was cloudy. It fizzed. It smelled, well, alive. Elon stared at the glass jar of homemade kefir, still skeptical, as if expecting it to explode. The label May had scribbled on it read: fermented equals future. Drink daily. He sipped. Tangy. Strange. Slightly sour. But something inside clicked. Not in a dramatic, movie magic way. It wasn't a jolt of lightning or a mind-blowing revelation. It was subtler, like flipping a switch in a dusty room. For the first time in months, his stomach didn't feel heavy. And his head didn't feel foggy. Could this stuff actually work? Fermented foods weren't new. In fact, they were ancient, long before refrigeration, long before processed snacks and fast food. Humans fermented vegetables, milk, even fish, not just to preserve them, but to boost their power. Cultures across the globe relied on them: kimchi in Korea, sauerkraut in Germany, miso in Japan, yogurt in Greece. But Elon had always brushed them off as hippie nonsense. Now, facing cognitive decline and chronic fatigue, he was looking at bacteria like a scientist looks at dark matter, with awe, curiosity, and a little fear. Dr. Lane had been emphatic in her assessment. Your gut isn't just your digestion center. It's your second brain. Over 90% of your body's serotonin is produced there. Mess with your gut, and you mess with your mood, memory, and mental clarity. Fermented foods introduce good bacteria, probiotics, that balance the system. They reduce inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and support cognition. For you, Elon, they're step one. And May. She had been preaching the same sermon since the 1980s. Back then, nobody listened. Now, science had finally caught up to her. Elon decided to go all in. He didn't just drink kefir. He made his own. He ordered a fermentation kit, started brewing kombucha in his garage next to a prototype Tesla solar inverter. He learned to ferment cabbage, carrots, beets, even garlic. He dove into research. He read papers on gut-brain axis communication, microbiota diversity, and inflammation markers. He pinged experts. He asked ChatGPT. He even DM'd a gut health influencer with 2 million followers. Because if this was the key to staying sharp at 60 and beyond, he wanted to master it. By week 2, something wild happened. The afternoon crashes stopped. The 3 p.m. zone out. Gone. He started noticing colors again. Music hit deeper. His thoughts, once jumbled, now came in cleaner streams. He walked into a Neuralink meeting and recalled a hardware bottleneck they'd faced 18 months ago, in detail. No notes. His lead engineer blinked. You remember that? Elon shrugged. Just clicked. At home, he added fermented foods to nearly every meal. Sauerkraut on eggs. Miso in soups. Kefir between meetings. Kimchi with dinner. Gracie, his assistant, joked, "Your fridge smells like a biology lab." He didn't care. Because he felt good. Not burning the candle at both ends, good. Just human again. But as always, the critics came. On a video call with SpaceX execs, someone rolled their eyes when Elon mentioned his gut protocol. We launching rockets or pickling cabbage, boss? Elon smirked. Same principle. Controlled environments. Balanced ecosystems. Optimal fuel. They laughed. But they also listened. Because he was sharper than he'd been in months. Maybe years. One night, he texted May a photo of his homemade kimchi next to a notepad filled with formulas. Brains coming back online. Thanks for the bacteria. She replied. Told you. Microbes are your allies. Now get some leafy greens in you. He chuckled. And circled the next item on Dr. Lane's list. But before we get there, it's worth pausing. Because this moment, this shift, wasn't about one food. It was about the decision to invest in staying sharp. To build brain longevity with intention. To fuel thought like it mattered, because for Elon, it did. No fermented food could solve everything. But it was a start. And sometimes, that's all it takes. If the gut was the second brain, then omega-3s were the oil that kept it running smoothly. Elon had always been a fan of efficiency. When he was in his early 40s, he had subscribed to the standard routine. Pop a multivitamin, take a handful of supplements, and get back to work. But when his energy levels dipped, his brain fog thickened, and his motivation wavered, something needed to change. The multivitamins weren't cutting it. The supplements felt like band-aids on a much larger problem. And so, omega-3s entered the picture. Dr. Lane had been clear about this next step. If you want to keep your mind sharp, you need omega-3 fatty acids. They support brain function, improve cognitive performance, and reduce inflammation. In your case, Elon, they're non-negotiable. In plain terms, omega-3s weren't just a supplement, they were a nutrient that fed the brain. And if there was one thing Elon understood, it was that the brain needed premium fuel to run at its best. So, it was time to look beyond the standard fish oil capsules. He reached for a jar of wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Not a supplement, not a capsule. Real fish. He had the team source only the freshest, most nutrient-dense fish. Wild-caught, not farmed. And then he had his chef prepare it in the simplest, most effective way, pan-seared, with a squeeze of lemon and a sprinkle of sea salt. The first bite. It was pure satisfaction. Rich. Complex. The kind of food that tasted like it was doing something for you. The fat from the salmon melted into his system, rich in EPA and DHA, the omega-3s that were directly tied to improved brain health and reduced inflammation. He ate a second serving that night. By the next morning, the change was subtle but noticeable. Elon felt clearer. His thoughts were more focused, less scattered. He didn't feel the constant urge to reach for a coffee just to keep the wheels turning. There was a new energy in his body, a steady, lasting fuel that wasn't reliant on sugar or caffeine. But the breakthrough didn't come all at once. For Elon, it was about gradual shifts. A little more energy in the mornings. A slight reduction in joint pain. Fewer brain fog episodes. And then there was the mental clarity. It wasn't instant. It was like tuning an instrument that had been slightly out of key for years. At first, the notes sounded flat, but with consistent effort, the tone started to refine. By week 3, he added mackerel to his menu, another omega-3 rich fish that was dense in nutrients and had a reputation for brain-boosting properties. Elon began experimenting, pairing it with various vegetables, creating simple, yet nutrient-dense meals. Grilled mackerel with kale, avocado, and a drizzle of olive oil became his go-to. And he realized that the process of preparing the food, not just the food itself, was therapeutic. It slowed him down. It allowed him to focus. No longer was he mindlessly scrolling through emails or flipping through meetings. He was present. It was his own personal ritual. But his decision to add omega-3 rich fish to his diet wasn't just based on advice from Dr. Lane or May. There were scientific studies that backed up his choice, research suggesting that omega-3s played a crucial role in brain plasticity and neurogenesis, which were vital for keeping cognitive functions sharp as one aged. Elon knew the science. He had read the papers. He also understood that this was a marathon, not a sprint. His body was aging, and the years ahead would require more than just brilliant ideas, they would require clear, sharp thinking, high energy, and resilience. The time to build the foundation was now. It wasn't just the salmon or mackerel that became part of his regimen, it was the whole ecosystem of nutrient-dense, whole foods. The omega-3s were a major cornerstone, but they were part of a greater strategy to optimize his physical and mental health. The next step, he knew, would be integrating more leafy greens into his daily meals. But for now, the omega-3s had given him the cognitive clarity and focus he needed to power through his days with renewed vigor. Days turned into weeks. Elon's sleep improved. His workouts were no longer just about logging hours in the gym, but about enhancing performance, using his body as another tool for long-term success. And as his energy levels stabilized, he found himself more present in every meeting, every conversation, and every challenge that came his way. Even his colleagues noticed the change. One evening at SpaceX headquarters, a project manager commented during a brainstorming session, "Elon, you've been on fire lately. You're sharper than ever." He smiled. "Guess I finally figured out how to fuel the engine." As he took another bite of pan-seared salmon later that night, he realized that small choices, like incorporating omega-3 rich foods into his diet, weren't just benefiting his brain and body now. They were investments in the future. Every meal, every nutrient was a piece of the puzzle for his longevity, his mind, and his legacy. And that was the key. It wasn't about finding the perfect diet or the secret to eternal youth. It was about making incremental changes, listening to his body, and using the tools at his disposal to keep his mind as sharp as possible for the years ahead. If there was one food that summed up Elon Musk's relationship with nutrition, it was leafy greens. There were no shortcuts with greens. They weren't flashy, like the fermented foods or the omega-3 rich fish. They didn't promise instant results. But they were steady, consistent, and, over time, proved to be more powerful than he ever realized. When Elon first started his overhaul, leafy greens didn't make the top of the list. He'd always thought of them as a side dish, not the core of a game-changing meal. After all, who wanted to eat something that tasted bland and was often seen as the token healthy garnish on the side of a plate? But May wasn't wrong when she gently nudged him during a call. "You know, Elon, without leafy greens, you're only doing half the work. Your brain needs more than just fish and fermented foods to stay sharp." Her words stuck. She was right. Dr. Lane, too, echoed the same sentiment. Leafy greens are essential for brain health. They're high in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that support cognitive function, improve circulation, and combat inflammation. They contain compounds that help reduce oxidative stress, which is crucial as we age. Elon had to admit, these weren't just trendy claims. The science was solid. He didn't need to look far for examples of the brain-boosting benefits of greens. Research after research pointed to their role in reducing cognitive decline and supporting mental clarity. And so, he decided it was time to get serious about his greens. The first step was easy: spinach. Not the kind you throw on a sandwich or toss into a salad, but real spinach. The deep, dark leafy variety that could be sautéed, added to smoothies, or mixed into eggs. The kind that packed a punch of magnesium, folate, and vitamin K, nutrients that supported brain health and cardiovascular function. That first spinach omelette. It was, surprisingly good. But Elon knew that it wasn't about good in the moment. It was about the long-term impact. These simple, nutrient-dense greens were going to be the bedrock for the sustained energy and mental clarity he needed to keep performing at his best. And so, spinach made its way into his daily routine. But Elon didn't stop there. He also added kale, the powerhouse green. Packed with vitamin A, C, and fiber, kale became his favorite go-to for smoothies and wraps. He even started experimenting with collard greens, Swiss chard, and arugula, creating a rotating system of nutrient-packed salads and sides. Every meal became an opportunity to sneak in more greens. At first, it felt like a chore. The texture wasn't always exciting, and the flavor was mild at best. But Elon wasn't one to back down from a challenge. And soon, he began noticing small, but significant, changes. He felt lighter. Not just physically, but mentally. His digestion improved, and his energy didn't dip as much in the afternoons. Where once he might have reached for an energy drink, now he grabbed a handful of leafy greens, blended into a smoothie with some protein powder and almond milk. He started feeling the effects in his day-to-day life. Brain fog? Gone. The late-night exhaustion? Significantly reduced. He was waking up earlier, with more clarity and focus. It wasn't just about the foods he was eating, it was about retraining his body and rebuilding his internal systems. But it wasn't just the food that mattered. Elon noticed the way greens affected his mood. He was more grounded in his decisions. He had greater patience, something that was crucial when managing the vast enterprises that were his life's work. His energy levels were no longer erratic, and he was able to maintain a steady, consistent focus throughout the day. He didn't experience the highs and lows that caffeine once provided, and it was giving him a new sense of clarity. One evening, as he sat down with his family for dinner, he looked at his plate, a colorful salad filled with kale, spinach, and Swiss chard, topped with a grilled chicken breast. May raised an eyebrow as he took a bite. "So, this is the future of Elon Musk?" she asked, smiling. "Kale?" He shrugged, chewing thoughtfully. "You'd be surprised. This stuff actually works." She laughed. "I told you, didn't I? The key to longevity and sharpness is in the simple things. The basics." Elon couldn't argue with that. After all, for a man who was revolutionizing space travel, the power of greens seemed like a pretty simple hack. But sometimes, the best solutions are the ones that don't need to be overcomplicated. Weeks turned into months, and the impact of the leafy greens became even more noticeable. He was no longer reliant on quick fixes or energy drinks. His mind had steadied. He was thinking with precision, and his creativity. The very fuel that had made him a pioneer in the world of technology, was sharper than ever. And then, there was the energy. No longer did he experience the afternoon slump. He didn't feel the need to crash after a long meeting or before a major presentation. His energy, like his mental clarity, was steady, reliable, the way it should have always been. And so, the final piece of the puzzle was in place. The greens, alongside the fermented foods and omega-3 rich fish, had transformed Elon Musk's approach to health and longevity. But this wasn't just about physical health. It was about preserving his mind for the next big challenges ahead: Mars, sustainable energy, and all the innovations he had yet to tackle. For Elon, food wasn't just fuel. It was a strategy. A key component of his long-term mission to make humanity a multiplanetary species. To succeed in a future that required sharp minds, strong bodies, and unrelenting focus. The journey wasn't over. It had just begun. After weeks of experimenting with kefir, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens, Elon finally had his magic formula. But here's the thing, it wasn't just the individual foods that made a difference. It was how he combined them into a daily routine that fueled him, supported his brain health, and gave him the energy he needed to keep pushing the boundaries of what was possible. This wasn't about consuming these foods in isolation. No, Elon had crafted a meticulous system, an intricate daily protocol, where these three superfoods worked together to optimize his body and mind. The first step of Elon's daily routine started as soon as he woke up. No snooze button. No sluggish roll out of bed. For Elon, the morning routine was sacred. It set the tone for the rest of his day. He'd wake up early, 5 a.m. at the latest, and go straight into his morning regimen. This wasn't just about having a few hours of quiet time before the world woke up. It was about arming himself for the challenges ahead. Before anything else, Elon would drink a tall glass of water. Hydration was crucial for keeping his brain sharp, and it was something he'd learned the hard way in his younger years. But he didn't stop there. He added kefir to the mix. Kefir, his fermented secret, became the cornerstone of his gut health protocol. He would sip on a small glass of this probiotic-packed drink as he made his way through his morning emails. The live cultures in kefir didn't just support his digestion, they kick-started his brain, giving him the clarity and focus he needed to make decisions right out of the gate. After a quick morning stretch, he'd prepare a breakfast that combined omega-3 rich fish with leafy greens. The fish was typically wild-caught salmon, seared with a touch of olive oil and paired with a side of sautéed spinach or kale. He wasn't just looking for something to fill his stomach. He needed a meal that packed a punch of nutrients to fuel his brain for the heavy lifting ahead. The omega-3s in the salmon worked in synergy with the leafy greens. The fats from the fish supported his cognitive function, while the greens provided the vitamins and minerals essential for his mental sharpness. This wasn't just a meal, it was a brain boost, a performance-enhancing fuel for the day. By midday, Elon would break from meetings and work on one of his most favorite creations, a green smoothie. This wasn't your average fruit-based smoothie. It was a powerhouse blend of spinach, kale, and collard greens, with a base of almond milk and a scoop of protein powder. He'd also throw in some chia seeds for extra fiber and omega-3s. For Elon, this smoothie wasn't just for lunch. It was an energy boost that kept him going through the afternoon. The greens kept him focused and alert, while the protein and healthy fats from the chia seeds helped him avoid that afternoon slump. No more needing to reach for a cup of coffee just to stay awake, the greens and protein provided steady, reliable energy. Dinner was where Elon really started to get creative. But it always had one thing in common, protein. And once again, he made sure it came with omega-3s. He'd prepare a grilled mackerel or another fatty fish like sardines. But what made the meal special was his side of leafy greens, usually kale or Swiss chard, cooked with garlic, olive oil, and lemon. Sometimes, he would toss in some fermented vegetables like sauerkraut for an added gut health boost. By this point in the evening, he wasn't just eating for the day's tasks. He was preparing his body and brain for the next day. A meal like this didn't just support his body's needs, it was a recovery protocol. Before hitting the sack, Elon would take a few minutes to wind down. This wasn't just about shutting off his devices or meditating, though that did help. He also added a final dose of fermented food to his night. A small cup of kefir, rich with probiotics, helped keep his gut bacteria balanced overnight. The effects of a healthy gut were undeniable in his case: better sleep, improved mood, and better cognitive function the following day. The kefir was a nightly ritual, just like brushing his teeth. Through these small, yet significant, dietary changes, Elon didn't just make a few tweaks to his health, he transformed how his body and mind functioned on a daily basis. It was no longer about random supplements or trendy diets. It was a clear, concise, and targeted approach to performance, longevity, and health. His commitment to combining these three powerful foods, kefir, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens, was the strategy that allowed him to stay sharp, energized, and focused. It was a protocol that optimized his body's needs, keeping his mind ready for whatever challenge was next. But it wasn't just about what he ate. It was also about how he thought. The food Elon ate wasn't just fuel. It was an investment in his future. Each meal was a small step toward ensuring that he would continue pushing the boundaries of what was possible, whether it was sending humans to Mars, advancing sustainable energy, or solving the most pressing challenges facing humanity. He wasn't just creating products or companies. He was creating a sustainable, healthy future for himself, so he could be around to build that future for the rest of us. It wasn't easy. It wasn't instant. But it was working. Elon felt sharper. More in control. And for a man who had set his sights on nothing less than revolutionizing humanity's future, this protocol wasn't just a game changer. It was his key to achieving everything he'd set out to do. When Elon Musk started his journey of eating healthier, it wasn't just about finding a way to stay active and strong as he aged. It was about using the right foods to optimize his brain and body for the long haul. To really understand why his choices worked, we have to break down the science behind the foods that powered his transformation: fermented foods, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens. Each of these foods had a profound impact on his health, longevity, and brain function, backed by research and a deep understanding of human biology. Fermented foods were the first piece of the puzzle, and for good reason. The link between the gut and the brain, often referred to as the gut-brain axis, has become a major area of research in recent years. Scientists have discovered that the gut plays a crucial role in regulating mood, cognitive function, and even mental clarity. Elon's choice of kefir, a fermented dairy product rich in probiotics, was no coincidence. Probiotics are live bacteria that support the healthy balance of gut flora, the microorganisms living in our digestive systems. A healthy gut microbiome has been shown to enhance brain function, boost immunity, and even reduce inflammation, which can contribute to conditions like cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. Research has shown that gut health directly influences the production of neurotransmitters in the brain, including serotonin, often called the feel-good hormone. In fact, nearly 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. This means that keeping your gut healthy can significantly impact mood and mental health, which is why Elon's commitment to fermented foods was so critical to his brain health. Additionally, fermented foods like kefir are rich in vitamin K2, which is vital for maintaining healthy bones and cardiovascular systems, something that only becomes more important with age. When it came to his omega-3 rich fish, Elon was very particular. Wild-caught salmon, mackerel, and sardines were his go-to sources of omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are essential for maintaining a healthy brain, especially as we age. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, are a critical building block of the brain. DHA makes up about 30% of the brain's fatty acids, and it plays an important role in memory, cognitive function, and neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections. The benefits of omega-3s go beyond memory. Studies have shown that they can help reduce inflammation in the brain and protect against cognitive decline. Omega-3s have been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia, both of which become increasingly prevalent with age. But it's not just about brain function, omega-3s also play a key role in maintaining heart health. They help reduce triglycerides, blood pressure, and cholesterol, while promoting the health of blood vessels. This dual impact, boosting both brain and heart health, is what made omega-3s such a powerful choice for Elon's longevity. Finally, the leafy greens in Elon's diet weren't just about filling up a plate with vegetables. These humble greens, like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, have long been recognized for their health benefits. What makes leafy greens so essential, especially as we age, are the powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds they contain. Leafy greens are packed with vitamin K, a nutrient crucial for healthy blood circulation and bone density. They also contain folate, which supports cognitive function and reduces the risk of depression. These micronutrients are essential for mental clarity and emotional stability. Two factors that became increasingly important for Elon as his schedule grew more demanding. But perhaps one of the most compelling reasons to eat more leafy greens is their antioxidant content. Greens like kale and spinach are rich in lutein, zeaxanthin, and vitamin C, all of which have been shown to protect the brain from oxidative stress. As we age, the buildup of oxidative stress can damage brain cells, leading to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. By including a variety of greens in his diet, Elon was not just supporting his brain function, he was actively fighting the effects of aging at a cellular level. What made Elon's dietary transformation truly remarkable was how he combined these three superfoods. The synergy between kefir, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens was far more powerful than each food on its own. The kefir helped maintain a healthy gut, ensuring that his digestive system was able to absorb nutrients effectively and that his brain received the support it needed. The omega-3s from the fish provided the critical building blocks for brain function, reducing inflammation and boosting cognitive abilities. The leafy greens, on the other hand, flooded his body with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that not only kept his brain sharp but also promoted longevity by reducing oxidative stress and protecting against heart disease and cancer. When all these foods are combined, the benefits aren't just about staying active in your 60s. They're about giving your body and brain the tools they need to thrive long-term. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. To maintain mental clarity, physical strength, and emotional stability well into your later years. The science behind these foods is clear. A balanced diet rich in fermented foods, omega-3s, and leafy greens can support brain function, reduce inflammation, and improve cardiovascular health, all of which are crucial for maintaining a high quality of life as we age. For Elon, this wasn't just about aging gracefully. It was about optimizing every part of his body and mind to meet the challenges ahead. Whether he was facing the pressures of managing multiple companies or preparing for humanity's future on Mars, he needed his brain to be sharp and his body to be strong. These foods weren't just a meal plan, they were a longevity protocol, designed to fuel him for the long term. Elon's commitment to this science-backed approach was just one more way he was preparing for the future. And it wasn't just about achieving longevity for himself, it was about setting an example for others to follow. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? When you think of Elon Musk, one of the first things that comes to mind is his exceptional intellect. Whether he's designing the next generation of electric cars at Tesla, innovating space travel with SpaceX, or pushing the boundaries of AI, Elon's mind seems to function at a level that most people could only dream of. But how does he keep his brain sharp, even as he approaches 60? The answer lies in the foods he eats. While there are many factors that contribute to cognitive function, from sleep to exercise, the foods we consume play a huge role in maintaining and enhancing brain power. For Elon, the combination of fermented foods, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens is not just about staying physically healthy. It's about ensuring that his brain stays at the cutting edge, capable of processing information quickly, thinking critically, and solving complex problems. Elon's daily kefir ritual wasn't just about supporting his gut. It was a strategic choice aimed at improving his brain function. Research has shown that there is a direct connection between gut health and cognitive performance. The idea that, you are what you eat, goes even deeper when you realize that the health of your gut can influence how your brain works. The gut and the brain communicate constantly through a network called the vagus nerve. This connection is so powerful that scientists now recognize the gut as the second brain. In fact, about 90% of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that regulates mood, is produced in the gut. By regularly consuming kefir, Elon wasn't just fueling his digestive system with probiotics. He was also supporting his brain's ability to produce neurotransmitters that help with focus, memory, and mood regulation. Probiotics are also known to reduce inflammation, which is key in maintaining cognitive function. Chronic inflammation in the brain is associated with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, so by keeping his gut microbiome healthy, Elon was actively protecting his brain from age-related cognitive decline. When it comes to keeping your brain sharp, few things are more important than omega-3 fatty acids. Elon's choice to eat omega-3 rich fish like wild-caught salmon and mackerel was deliberate and strategic. These fatty acids, particularly DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, make up about 30% of the brain's structural fat. They're crucial for maintaining cognitive function, especially in areas like memory, learning, and concentration. But the benefits of omega-3s go beyond just structural support. Studies have shown that DHA can enhance neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new connections. This is especially important for someone like Elon, whose work requires constant innovation and adaptation. The more neuroplasticity he has, the more easily his brain can absorb new information, solve problems, and think creatively. Moreover, omega-3s play a key role in reducing brain inflammation. Inflammation in the brain has been linked to cognitive decline and mental fatigue. By incorporating omega-3s into his diet, Elon was protecting his brain from this damage, ensuring that he stayed sharp and mentally clear, even as he aged. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that contribute to brain health in a variety of ways. These nutrients help to protect the brain from oxidative stress, which can damage brain cells and contribute to cognitive decline. For Elon, the antioxidants found in leafy greens, like lutein and zeaxanthin, were particularly important for protecting his brain's retina and visual processing. As a person who is constantly analyzing data, making decisions quickly, and absorbing complex information, having optimal eye health and visual clarity is crucial for staying sharp. In addition to antioxidants, leafy greens provide folate, a vitamin that helps produce neurotransmitters involved in memory and concentration. This nutrient also reduces levels of homocysteine, an amino acid linked to brain shrinkage and cognitive decline in older adults. By regularly eating leafy greens, Elon was not only boosting his brain power in the short term but also protecting his mind for the long term. The real magic of Elon's diet lies in the synergy between these three foods. While each one has unique benefits for brain function, together they create a more powerful effect than any of them would on their own. For example, the probiotics in kefir support a healthy gut microbiome, which in turn enhances the brain's ability to produce serotonin and other neurotransmitters. The omega-3s from fish provide the building blocks needed for cognitive function and protect the brain from inflammation. Meanwhile, the antioxidants and folate in leafy greens protect the brain from oxidative stress and support memory function. By combining these foods in his daily routine, Elon was giving his brain the ultimate nourishment it needed to perform at its peak. Whether he was strategizing the next steps for SpaceX or brainstorming new innovations for Tesla, these foods ensured that he could think clearly, solve problems, and make decisions with precision. Elon's cognitive abilities weren't just fueled by food. His approach to mental performance also stemmed from his mindset and lifestyle choices. But the connection between food and cognition can't be ignored. It's one thing to have a sharp mind, but it's another to have the energy and focus to constantly push the boundaries of innovation. Elon has often spoken about the importance of persistence and long-term thinking, traits that are essential for his success. However, the foundation for those qualities starts with his brain health. If you're not fueling your body and mind with the right nutrients, it becomes harder to stay motivated, stay focused, and think critically in high-stakes situations. That's why his diet of fermented foods, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens was so important. It wasn't just about staying strong in his 60s, it was about maintaining peak cognitive function in order to build the future. Elon Musk's commitment to a brain-boosting diet is a perfect example of how nutrition can enhance mental performance. His three key foods, kefir, omega-3 rich fish, and leafy greens, are backed by science and proven to support memory, focus, mental clarity, and neuroprotection. By making these foods a cornerstone of his diet, Elon is ensuring that he remains at the top of his game, no matter how old he gets. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for a snack, ask yourself, is this helping to fuel my mind and keep me sharp? For Elon, the answer is clear: the foods we eat can power not just our bodies but our brains as well. To understand how Elon Musk has managed to maintain his mental sharpness and physical strength, it's essential to look at more than just his diet. Elon's daily routine is a well-oiled machine, designed to optimize his body, mind, and productivity. By incorporating a combination of hard work, focused rest, and physical activity, Elon maximizes his potential every single day, making it possible to juggle multiple companies while staying at the top of his game. But how does he manage to fit everything in? How does a person who works between 80 to 100 hours per week stay active, energized, and sharp, even as he nears 60? In this chapter, we break down Elon's routine and examine how it plays a critical role in keeping him both physically strong and mentally agile. Elon Musk is known for his intense work ethic. His day typically begins before the sun rises, setting the tone for a packed schedule ahead. At around 5 a.m., he wakes up. Elon is notorious for having an early start, often saying that he needs to hit the ground running the moment he wakes up. His first task: answering emails. He spends the first few hours of his day tackling work that requires critical thought, something he refers to as doing the hardest work first. By getting the most mentally demanding tasks done early, he ensures that his brain is firing on all cylinders, without distractions or fatigue. This early morning habit of starting his day with work is consistent with his high-performance lifestyle. It allows him to spend his mental energy on important decisions early in the day, reserving the latter part of his day for meetings, calls, and operational tasks that don't require as much concentration. While Elon may not spend hours in the gym, physical activity is a key component of his daily routine. He believes in staying active, not necessarily through long workouts, but by incorporating movement into his day in any way he can. Elon is known for fitting in a quick workout during his busy schedule. He prefers to keep it simple, often doing exercises like weights, cardio, and stretching to maintain his fitness. This balanced approach helps keep his body strong and energized, which in turn supports his work and brain function. More importantly, Elon integrates physical activity into his day even when he's not actively working out. He avoids sitting for long periods of time, opting to walk while talking on the phone or pacing during meetings. This habit ensures that his body stays in motion, which is crucial for maintaining long-term health and staying focused throughout the day. While Elon's diet is key to his strength and mental clarity, he doesn't stick to a rigid meal schedule. However, he does make sure to eat the right foods to fuel his body and mind. Breakfast is typically a low-carb, high-protein meal, often consisting of eggs and avocado. The healthy fats from avocado and the protein from eggs provide sustained energy throughout the morning, without the blood sugar spikes that come from processed carbs. For lunch and dinner, Elon often opts for something light but nutrient-dense, like grilled salmon or another omega-3 rich fish, paired with leafy greens like kale or spinach. These meals give his body the right nutrients, including the antioxidants from greens and healthy fats from fish, ensuring his brain stays sharp and his body stays strong. Elon's approach to meals isn't just about eating the right foods, it's about efficiency. He believes in staying focused and not wasting time on elaborate meals. If he's particularly busy, he might even opt for a protein shake or a quick snack, making sure it fits with his dietary needs. One of the most important components of Elon's routine is sleep. Despite his demanding schedule, Elon is known to value his sleep, though he doesn't always get as much as he should. He typically sleeps for 6 hours a night, but he makes sure that those 6 hours are as high quality as possible. He often stresses the importance of deep, restorative sleep for brain function, and believes that getting adequate rest is essential to making good decisions and staying productive. This means that when he does sleep, he makes sure his environment is conducive to restful sleep, with a cool, quiet room, and no distractions. Elon also follows a consistent sleep schedule, waking up and going to bed at the same time every day. This consistency helps regulate his circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock that controls the sleep-wake cycle, allowing him to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the day. Elon's ability to juggle multiple ventures, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company, comes down to his time management skills. He breaks his day into highly structured time blocks, each allocated to a specific task. This system, known as time blocking, helps him stay organized and ensures that his time is used efficiently. He focuses on one task at a time, eliminating distractions and keeping his attention sharp. By dedicating specific blocks of time to meetings, brainstorming sessions, or writing emails, Elon is able to be productive without feeling overwhelmed. Another key aspect of Elon's time management is his ability to make quick decisions. He believes that making fast decisions, even if they're not always perfect, is critical to staying ahead. The faster he can evaluate situations and move forward, the more energy he has to tackle the next challenge. This approach allows him to maintain momentum throughout the day. As the day comes to an end, Elon's routine shifts toward winding down and preparing for the next day. He's known for spending his evenings with family, particularly his children, which helps him unwind after a long, intense day. Despite his hectic schedule, he values the time spent with loved ones and understands the importance of recharging emotionally. Elon's evening also involves some light reading, often related to his work or personal interests. This time for mental relaxation ensures that his brain remains sharp, while also giving him an opportunity to learn and think about new ideas in a more casual, low-stress setting. By the time he gets into bed, Elon's mind is ready for rest, and his sleep is undisturbed, preparing him for another day of high performance ahead. Elon Musk's routine is a testament to the importance of consistency and focus. By waking up early, staying active, eating the right foods, and following a well-structured schedule, Elon maximizes his potential every single day. His routine isn't about working longer hours or pushing himself to the limit, it's about working smarter and optimizing every aspect of his life to support his goals. Incorporating physical activity, quality sleep, and a focused diet into his day has allowed Elon to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible, even as he nears 60. By following a routine that supports both his mental and physical health, Elon sets a blueprint for anyone looking to maintain peak performance as they age. When you think of Elon Musk, it's easy to focus on his technological achievements. Revolutionizing the electric vehicle industry with Tesla, pushing humanity into space with SpaceX, and advocating for a sustainable future. But behind every one of these accomplishments lies an incredibly resilient mindset. Elon's success isn't just about his intellect or his work ethic, it's also about how he thinks, how he perseveres, and how he handles the pressures of leading some of the world's most innovative companies. As he approaches his 60s, Elon's mental resilience has played an even more critical role in ensuring he remains at the forefront of technological innovation. So, what exactly is Elon's secret? How does he handle failure, rejection, and immense pressure? And more importantly, how can we apply his mindset principles to our own lives? In this chapter, we break down the power of Elon's mindset, focusing on the 3 key principles that have helped him navigate challenges, maintain his determination, and continue to pursue his vision for the future. Elon Musk is no stranger to failure. In fact, he's had more than his fair share of setbacks, both personal and professional. Yet, rather than being defeated by failure, Elon uses it as a learning opportunity. His ability to face failure head-on and extract lessons from it is one of the keys to his resilience. Take the early days of SpaceX, for example. The company suffered multiple rocket launch failures, with 3 of the first 4 rockets failing to reach orbit. The pressure was immense, and many people doubted that SpaceX would ever succeed. But rather than throwing in the towel, Elon doubled down. He invested his own money into the company to fund the next launch and refined his approach based on the lessons learned from each failure. Elon has often said that he views failure as a stepping stone to success. Instead of letting setbacks demoralize him, he embraces them as part of the process. This mindset is crucial for anyone looking to achieve long-term success, as failure is inevitable. The key is not to avoid it but to learn from it, adapt, and come back stronger. One of Elon's most defining characteristics is his unshakable sense of purpose. From his early days as an entrepreneur, Elon has been driven by a clear and ambitious mission, to make humanity a multiplanetary species and accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. This sense of purpose is the guiding force behind everything he does, and it helps him stay focused on his goals, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles. When Elon started Tesla, many doubted the viability of electric vehicles. The auto industry was deeply entrenched in gasoline-powered cars, and there was a widespread belief that electric cars would never be able to compete in terms of performance and affordability. Despite the skepticism, Elon pressed forward, driven by his belief that the world needed a sustainable alternative to fossil fuels. Similarly, when SpaceX was founded, the goal was never just to send rockets into space. The larger vision was to make space travel more affordable and accessible, ultimately enabling the colonization of other planets. Throughout the many challenges and failures that SpaceX faced, Elon remained laser-focused on his overarching mission, which helped him persevere. For Elon, success is about more than just profit or recognition, it's about the larger impact he can have on the world. This sense of purpose is what helps him keep going, even in the face of immense pressure and adversity. While having a long-term vision is crucial for success, Elon Musk is also a master of focusing on the present moment and taking decisive action. Rather than getting bogged down by future uncertainties, he stays committed to executing his ideas one step at a time. This action-oriented mindset allows him to make progress consistently, even when the end goal seems far off. Elon has famously said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." This philosophy drives him to keep moving forward, regardless of how daunting the future may appear. Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions or for external factors to fall into place, Elon focuses on what he can control right now and works relentlessly toward his objectives. This principle is especially important for those of us who sometimes feel overwhelmed by the scope of our goals. It's easy to get paralyzed by fear or uncertainty about the future. But Elon's example shows that the key to success is not just about planning, but about taking action, no matter how small the step. Each action brings you closer to the future you want to create. Mental resilience isn't something that happens overnight. It's built through self-discipline and a commitment to pushing through challenges, no matter how difficult they may seem. Elon's self-discipline is one of the cornerstones of his mental toughness. He works long hours, often sacrificing personal time to focus on his companies. He's not immune to the stress and pressure that comes with such a demanding lifestyle, but his ability to stay disciplined allows him to push through and continue striving toward his goals. Self-discipline is also reflected in Elon's ability to prioritize. He is known for making quick, efficient decisions, which allows him to focus on the most important tasks and avoid getting sidetracked by minor distractions. In a world full of constant interruptions, this kind of focus is invaluable. It's one of the reasons Elon is able to achieve so much in a day and remain productive throughout the years. By cultivating mental resilience and self-discipline, Elon has been able to stay ahead of the curve, even as his companies face intense competition. His ability to stay calm under pressure and keep pushing forward, no matter the obstacles, has helped him become one of the most successful and influential entrepreneurs of our time. Elon Musk's journey has been far from smooth. Along the way, he has faced criticism, skepticism, and even ridicule from various quarters. People doubted his ability to make electric cars mainstream. They laughed at the idea of reusable rockets. And they predicted that his ambitious goals would eventually fail. Yet, despite all the doubt, Elon has continued to push forward. This mental resilience in the face of criticism is another crucial element of Elon's success. He doesn't let naysayers define his trajectory. Instead, he focuses on his vision, and works relentlessly toward it. Elon's ability to block out negative influences and stay true to his mission has been one of the keys to his success. For those looking to emulate Elon's resilience, it's important to remember that criticism is inevitable. No matter how successful you are, there will always be people who question your choices or underestimate your abilities. What sets successful individuals apart is their ability to rise above this and continue pursuing their goals with confidence. Elon Musk's mindset is one of the most powerful tools in his success. His ability to embrace failure, stay focused on his purpose, take action, and block out criticism has allowed him to achieve incredible things. While his mindset may seem unique, the principles that underpin it are universal. Anyone can cultivate mental resilience by adopting these same practices. By learning from Elon's approach, we can all build a stronger, more resilient mindset. Whether you're striving to make an impact in your career or simply working toward personal growth, adopting a mindset of persistence, focus, and action will help you overcome obstacles and stay motivated, no matter what life throws your way. Elon Musk is notorious for his work ethic, often dedicating 80 to 100 hours a week to his various ventures. From running Tesla and SpaceX to overseeing Neuralink and the Boring Company, it's hard to imagine how he manages to stay energized and productive throughout the day, especially as he nears his 60s. How does a man with such a packed schedule maintain the stamina needed to operate on this high level? In this chapter, we explore Elon's energy secrets, breaking down the key habits, practices, and strategies he uses to keep his energy levels high. From sleep patterns to diet choices, and everything in between, we'll uncover the elements that contribute to Elon's unstoppable drive. While Elon's schedule may be intense, he prioritizes sleep. It's easy to assume that someone who works as much as he does sacrifices sleep in order to keep up with his commitments. But Elon has made it clear that he understands the importance of quality sleep in maintaining both mental and physical health. Elon typically sleeps around 6 hours per night. While this may seem like less than the average 7 to 9 hours recommended for adults, he insists that the quality of sleep is far more important than the quantity. He ensures that his sleep environment is optimal, keeping his room cool, dark, and free from distractions, so he can get the most out of those 6 hours. Sleep isn't just about rest for Elon, it's a key recovery tool. High-quality sleep helps his brain function at its best, allowing him to make decisions quickly, stay sharp during long hours, and maintain his creativity. His sleep routine is a perfect example of how rest plays a critical role in overall energy levels, ensuring that his body and mind are ready for the demanding day ahead. Elon's morning routine is another critical component of how he stays energized and productive. Like many successful individuals, he starts his day early, which helps him get a jump on his tasks. He's typically awake by 5 a.m., often working on emails and tackling the most challenging tasks before his schedule fills up with meetings. But what's key in Elon's routine isn't just waking up early, it's how he eases into the day. He doesn't rush into back-to-back meetings or jump into high-energy activities immediately. Instead, he sets aside time for himself to ensure that his mind is prepared for the day ahead. He believes that taking time in the morning to mentally prepare helps him stay energized for the rest of the day. This may include quick brainstorming, meditation, or simply having a quiet moment before the chaos of the day begins. Elon's ability to prioritize mental clarity in the early hours is key to his ongoing success and his high-energy lifestyle. It's this focus and intention that keeps him alert and sharp, even when dealing with back-to-back meetings. When it comes to food, Elon follows a diet that helps fuel his energy levels without leaving him feeling sluggish. His meals tend to be low-carb and high-protein, which provides him with steady energy throughout the day. This approach keeps his blood sugar levels stable and helps him avoid the mid-afternoon energy crashes that come from eating sugar-laden meals or refined carbohydrates. For breakfast, Elon typically opts for something simple but effective, such as eggs and avocado. These two foods are loaded with healthy fats and protein, which provide sustained energy. The avocado offers healthy fats, which are essential for brain function and long-lasting energy, while eggs provide an excellent source of protein that helps keep him full throughout the morning. For lunch and dinner, Elon usually sticks with lean meats, fish, or grilled chicken along with leafy greens like spinach or kale. These meals are packed with essential nutrients and antioxidants that promote brain health and overall physical strength. Elon's focus on lean, nutrient-dense foods ensures that he stays fueled without feeling weighed down by excessive fats or sugars. Elon also maintains a healthy balance by drinking plenty of water throughout the day. Staying hydrated is key to maintaining energy levels, especially when tackling a schedule as packed as his. One of the key factors that sets Elon apart from many others in high-stress, high-performance environments is his commitment to physical movement. While he doesn't spend hours at the gym, Elon understands the importance of staying active to maintain both physical strength and mental clarity. Rather than scheduling a long workout session, Elon integrates movement into his day in a way that works for him. He's known to walk while talking on the phone or during meetings, and he takes breaks to stretch and stay mobile throughout the day. This constant movement helps keep his circulation going, boosts his mood, and keeps his energy levels up. Even though he's sitting at his desk for long stretches, Elon doesn't let his body go into a sedentary state for too long. Regular movement not only helps him stay energized but also promotes better focus and mental clarity. In addition to walking, Elon makes it a point to exercise regularly, typically focusing on weight training, cardio, and stretching. This routine helps him maintain his strength and stamina, which is crucial when working 12-hour days or traveling for business. With his high-stakes schedule, it's easy to assume that Elon rarely takes a break. But he's actually very strategic about rest and rejuvenation. Elon takes short, purposeful breaks throughout the day to recharge his energy. Whether it's a quick walk, a moment to relax and think, or even a power nap, these breaks allow him to maintain his productivity levels throughout the day. Many successful people, including Elon, emphasize the importance of rest in maintaining long-term energy. Constantly pushing through without taking breaks can lead to burnout. Elon is aware of this and uses breaks as a way to reset and keep his mind sharp. By giving himself a chance to recharge, he can come back to work feeling more focused and ready to take on the next challenge. Energy isn't just about the physical. It's also about mental clarity and the ability to stay focused. Elon has developed a remarkable ability to maintain intense concentration on his work, even during stressful moments. He's known for his ability to manage multiple companies while remaining highly productive and engaged. Elon credits much of his focus to his ability to break his day into time blocks, dedicated periods of time where he focuses on one task at a time. This not only prevents him from getting overwhelmed but also keeps his mental energy sharp, as he avoids the distractions that often lead to mental fatigue. By staying focused and organized, Elon is able to channel his energy efficiently, ensuring that his work is both effective and purposeful. Whether he's dealing with complex engineering problems at SpaceX or making key decisions at Tesla, his mental energy is just as important as his physical energy. Elon Musk's ability to stay energized and productive is rooted in his understanding of how to take care of his body and mind. By focusing on quality sleep, maintaining a high-protein, low-carb diet, staying active, taking strategic breaks, and keeping his mind sharp, Elon ensures that he has the energy needed to handle the demands of his busy life. For anyone looking to maintain high energy levels, whether you're in your 20s or 60s, Elon's strategies provide valuable insight into how to prioritize your physical health and mental clarity. The key isn't about working harder or longer, it's about being efficient and intentional in the way you manage your energy. By following these energy secrets, you can stay active, strong, and productive, no matter your age, just like Elon Musk. In the world of cutting-edge technology, multi-billion-dollar companies, and world-changing ambitions, Elon Musk's life is nothing short of a whirlwind. As the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and several other ventures, the pressure he faces is astronomical. With so many moving pieces in his various companies, it's remarkable that he maintains a level of focus, productivity, and, perhaps most importantly, mental health. In this chapter, we explore how Elon manages stress, stays balanced, and keeps his mental health intact despite the overwhelming pressures that come with leading the world's most innovative companies. We'll dive into the habits, strategies, and mindset that allow him to thrive mentally and emotionally, even in one of the most stressful and competitive industries on the planet. Elon Musk is responsible for some of the most ambitious and complex projects in modern history. SpaceX aims to make space travel affordable and to eventually colonize Mars. Tesla is revolutionizing the electric car industry and working toward a sustainable energy future. Neuralink and The Boring Company are tackling entirely new frontiers in both neuroscience and infrastructure. Given the scale and complexity of these endeavors, it's easy to see how the pressure could become overwhelming. For Elon, there's always something new to solve, whether it's overcoming technical failures at SpaceX, meeting production targets at Tesla, or managing the public's expectations and criticisms. Despite this, Elon has been able to handle these stresses better than most. His approach to mental health and stress management is not just about surviving these pressures, but about thriving within them. So, how does he do it? Elon has often said that he doesn't view stress as something to be avoided. Instead, he acknowledges that stress is an inevitable part of achieving big goals. His willingness to embrace stress as part of the journey is a mindset that helps him keep going, even during difficult times. I think stress is a part of life. If you're doing something important, there will be stress involved, Elon once said in an interview. This perspective is crucial for staying mentally resilient. Instead of seeing stress as a negative force, Elon uses it as a motivator. It's a natural byproduct of working on high-stakes projects, and he recognizes that overcoming challenges is often where the greatest growth happens. For most people, stress can feel paralyzing, but Elon's ability to frame it as an opportunity to learn and grow allows him to navigate it without losing his focus or energy. One might think that someone with a schedule as packed as Elon's would have no time for themselves. But surprisingly, Elon makes self-care a priority, even if it doesn't always fit into a conventional routine. Elon has mentioned in interviews that he tries to reserve time for himself during his hectic schedule. While this doesn't always mean a relaxing vacation or time off, it does mean carving out moments where he can recharge mentally and emotionally. Elon has been known to enjoy reading, which helps him relax and unwind. He also enjoys playing video games, a hobby that allows him to disconnect from the stresses of running multiple companies and allows him to focus on something purely for enjoyment. Taking time for himself helps clear his mind and regain perspective, which is essential when leading complex organizations. This self-care isn't about escaping the pressure, it's about managing it in a way that doesn't compromise his mental health. While Elon is known for his intense work ethic, he also understands the importance of support. The emotional toll of running such large companies can be overwhelming, and having a support system is essential to staying grounded. Elon has often spoken about the importance of his team and how he relies on trusted colleagues to help him shoulder the weight of responsibility. His executive team at Tesla and SpaceX is made up of people he trusts, allowing him to delegate effectively and avoid burnout. This collaboration ensures that he's not carrying the full burden of responsibility alone. Beyond work, Elon also leans on his family and friends for emotional support. Though he's frequently in the public eye and has often been in the spotlight for his relationships, he maintains close ties with people who help him stay balanced and focused. Whether it's his children or close friends, having people to talk to provides him with a vital outlet to process the stress and pressures of his high-profile life. One surprising strategy that Elon uses to maintain his mental health is mindfulness. While not typically associated with a high-powered CEO like Musk, Elon has been open about using meditation and mindfulness techniques to keep his mind clear and focused. Elon once admitted that he has used meditation as a tool for managing stress, though he's not someone who regularly attends meditation retreats or follows strict routines. Instead, he uses simple techniques such as focused breathing to help him regain mental clarity during stressful moments. This practice helps him stay calm and composed when the pressure builds up, allowing him to approach problems with a clear, rational mind. Mindfulness can help individuals handle challenges more effectively, and Elon's use of this strategy demonstrates that even the busiest individuals can benefit from moments of calm reflection. Another key aspect of Elon's mental health is his commitment to staying physically active. Although Elon is not known for spending hours at the gym, he is highly conscious of the fact that exercise is crucial for both physical and mental well-being. Elon has been known to take walks during the day, often as a way to think through problems or clear his mind. Regular movement throughout the day, whether it's a walk or a light workout, helps keep his body energized and his mind sharp. Physical exercise increases endorphins, which improve mood and reduce stress, making it a natural remedy for tension. By staying physically active, Elon ensures that he has the energy to face the demands of his work while simultaneously maintaining a level of mental clarity that helps him manage stress. Elon is also known for his ability to focus on the things he can control while letting go of the things he can't. In his line of work, there are countless variables outside his control, from market conditions to supply chain disruptions to the behavior of competitors. Instead of letting these things overwhelm him, Elon channels his energy into solving the problems that are within his grasp. Focusing on what he can control not only reduces stress but also increases productivity. By not getting bogged down by things that are beyond his influence, Elon is able to maintain a positive outlook and continue pushing forward. This strategy is one of the most powerful tools for managing stress. By acknowledging that some things are outside of your control, you free yourself from the constant burden of worrying about them. Elon Musk's mental health strategies are a combination of resilience, self-care, and a balanced approach to the demands of a high-pressure career. By embracing stress as a part of the process, taking time for himself, leaning on a support network, practicing mindfulness, staying physically active, and focusing on what he can control, Elon ensures that his mental health doesn't deteriorate under the weight of his ambitious goals. For anyone working in a high-stress environment or dealing with personal challenges, Elon's approach offers valuable lessons. Mental health isn't something that just happens on its own, it requires effort, discipline, and awareness. By following some of Elon's strategies, we can all find ways to manage stress, stay resilient, and thrive in the face of life's challenges. In today's fast-paced, information-saturated world, staying focused is harder than ever. With constant notifications, meetings, and deadlines, maintaining clarity of purpose and a laser-sharp focus can feel like a Herculean task. For someone like Elon Musk, who juggles multiple companies and projects, staying focused is not just a skill, it's an essential part of his ability to drive innovation and accomplish the extraordinary. In this chapter, we explore how Elon Musk manages to keep his vision clear and his focus sharp, despite the many distractions and pressures that come with running some of the world's most ambitious and complex companies. We'll examine the habits, mindsets, and strategies that allow him to stay focused on his long-term goals, and how anyone can apply these lessons to achieve greater clarity and success in their own lives. Elon Musk's ability to maintain focus starts with his clear vision of the future. Whether it's colonizing Mars, transitioning the world to sustainable energy, or developing brain-computer interfaces, Elon is driven by a bold, far-reaching mission. But having a big vision isn't enough on its own, it's about clarifying and simplifying that vision to make it actionable. One of the key aspects of Elon's clarity is his ability to break down complex goals into manageable steps. While his overarching mission may seem enormous, Elon approaches it with a level of pragmatism that allows him to focus on the task at hand. Rather than getting overwhelmed by the enormity of his projects, he breaks them down into bite-sized, measurable goals. This approach keeps his vision intact while also making it easier for him to focus on what needs to be done right now. He often reminds his teams to focus on doing the impossible one step at a time, and this philosophy applies not only to his businesses but to his personal approach to life as well. By keeping his long-term vision in mind, Elon has built a roadmap that guides him through every decision and every task. This laser-like focus on his end goals allows him to block out distractions and stay committed, no matter what challenges arise. For Elon, focus isn't just about staying on track, it's about eliminating distractions that could derail his progress. One of his most notable habits is his ability to prioritize the things that truly matter and push aside the less important tasks. Elon is highly selective about how he spends his time. He's been known to have a rigid scheduling system, where he divides his day into 5-minute blocks to ensure that each moment is spent effectively. This tight schedule prevents him from getting sidetracked by unnecessary meetings or tasks that don't contribute to his overall goals. In addition to this strict scheduling, Elon is a master of saying no. He has no time for meetings that don't add value to his goals, and he's known for avoiding distractions like unnecessary emails or calls. He is very intentional about protecting his time and energy, which allows him to maintain focus on his vision. Elon has also streamlined his social media presence, despite his high profile. While he is known for his Twitter activity, he keeps his personal interactions on the platform relatively simple and focused, avoiding unnecessary distractions that could take him away from his work. His use of social media is intentional, and he makes sure it serves his personal and professional goals rather than detracting from them. By prioritizing and eliminating distractions, Elon ensures that he stays on track, even when there are a million other things vying for his attention. Elon Musk is known for his extreme productivity, and much of that can be attributed to his use of time blocking. Time blocking is the practice of dividing the day into blocks of time, each dedicated to a specific task or type of work. Rather than multitasking or letting his schedule be dictated by incoming demands, Elon takes control of his time by scheduling every part of his day. This method allows him to focus entirely on one task at a time, whether it's a critical meeting, deep work on a project, or brainstorming with his team. By dedicating uninterrupted time to each task, Elon is able to produce high-quality work and make significant progress on his goals. Elon's time-blocking strategy also extends to his approach to work-life balance. While his schedule may seem grueling, he ensures that he makes time for the things that matter to him, such as spending time with his children or engaging in personal hobbies like reading or gaming. Time blocking helps him balance the demands of his professional life with his personal needs, which in turn helps him maintain his focus and mental clarity. This practice of scheduling everything, from high-priority meetings to moments of relaxation, helps Elon avoid feeling overwhelmed or scattered. It keeps him organized and on track, even when his responsibilities are vast and varied. Elon's focus is also driven by his tendency to set clear, aggressive goals and strict deadlines. He's known for setting ambitious timelines for his companies, often pushing his teams to accomplish what others might think is impossible. This approach forces everyone to stay laser-focused on the task at hand, creating a culture of urgency and productivity. For example, with SpaceX, Elon set incredibly aggressive goals for landing reusable rockets, something that was considered a pipe dream in the space industry. His unwavering commitment to these goals, combined with his ability to set deadlines and hold himself and his team accountable, allowed SpaceX to achieve feats that others thought impossible. While deadlines can be stressful, they also force clarity. They give teams a clear direction and purpose, and they create a sense of urgency that drives focus. Elon uses deadlines not only as a way to push his teams but also as a way to ensure that everyone remains aligned and focused on the end goal. By setting clear goals and adhering to strict timelines, Elon maintains a sense of momentum and avoids losing sight of his mission, no matter how complex or far-reaching it may seem. A critical aspect of Elon's ability to stay focused is his commitment to maintaining his mental and physical health. As we've seen in earlier chapters, Elon prioritizes sleep, exercise, and mindfulness as part of his daily routine. This helps him maintain his energy levels and keeps his mind sharp. When he is physically well, Elon's focus improves, and his mental clarity becomes more pronounced. Regular exercise helps him clear his head and release any tension that might otherwise distract him. Whether he's walking while talking to his team or taking time for quick workouts, staying active ensures that he stays physically and mentally in top condition. By keeping his body in shape and his mind clear, Elon ensures that he can stay laser-focused on his projects, even when things get chaotic. Elon Musk's ability to maintain focus in a world filled with distractions is a result of his intentional habits, clear vision, and disciplined approach to time management. By prioritizing his goals, eliminating distractions, using time blocking, setting clear deadlines, and maintaining his mental and physical health, Elon ensures that his focus remains unwavering, even when faced with numerous challenges and distractions. For anyone seeking to increase their focus and clarity, Elon's strategies offer valuable lessons. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, or someone working in a high-stakes environment, adopting these practices can help you stay focused on what matters most and achieve your goals, no matter how big they may seem. In a world where technology evolves at an unprecedented pace, staying ahead of the curve is no small feat yet. For Elon Musk, innovation is not just a goal, it's a lifestyle. As the visionary behind companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company, Elon has consistently pushed the boundaries of what's possible, making groundbreaking advancements in areas as diverse as electric vehicles, space exploration, and even human-computer interfaces. So, how does Elon continue to create industry-changing technologies year after year? In this chapter, we delve into the core principles of his innovation process, exploring how he fosters creativity, tackles complex problems, and stays at the forefront of technology. One of the defining characteristics of Elon Musk's approach to innovation is his ability to question everything. Where others see established practices or accepted norms, Elon sees an opportunity to ask, why can't we do it differently? Why can't we do it better? This mindset stems from his first principles thinking, a problem-solving approach that Elon often references. Instead of relying on traditional assumptions or incremental improvements, first principles thinking forces you to break a problem down to its most fundamental truths and build up from there. Elon has explained this approach in simple terms. What are the fundamental truths? What is the reality? Once you understand the basic components of a problem, you can rethink the solution from the ground up. For example, when Elon set out to build SpaceX, he didn't accept the high cost of space travel as an immutable fact. Instead, he broke down the problem of rocket design into its most basic elements. Materials, physics, and costs, and rebuilt the rocket's production process from the ground up. This resulted in reusable rockets, a concept that revolutionized the entire aerospace industry. By questioning conventional wisdom and digging deep into the fundamental principles of technology, Elon continually disrupts industries and creates game-changing innovations. Failure is often seen as a setback, something to be avoided at all costs. However, for Elon Musk, failure is not just inevitable, it's essential to the process of innovation. Elon's companies have experienced significant failures, from rocket explosions at SpaceX to production delays at Tesla, yet each of these failures has served as a learning experience rather than a deterrent. Elon is famously unafraid of failure, viewing it as a natural part of the trial and error process that is necessary for technological advancement. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough, he once said. In fact, Elon has publicly stated that he often expects failure, especially in the early stages of new technologies. What matters is the speed with which you learn from that failure and pivot in a new direction. For example, during SpaceX's early years, the company experienced 3 rocket failures in quick succession. Rather than giving up, Elon and his team analyzed the failures, learned from them, and made adjustments to their approach. By embracing failure as a stepping stone to success, Elon creates a culture of constant iteration and improvement within his companies. This mindset allows his teams to move quickly, make mistakes, and then bounce back stronger, ultimately leading to breakthroughs. Elon Musk is well known for setting big, audacious goals, the kind of goals that many people would consider impossible. These goals not only define his company's missions but also act as a constant source of inspiration for his teams. Take, for example, Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. This is no small task, and yet it drives everything the company does, from developing cutting-edge electric vehicles to creating solar energy solutions. Similarly, SpaceX's goal of making life multiplanetary is not only groundbreaking, it's almost unbelievable. Yet, Elon's commitment to these ambitious missions has kept him at the forefront of innovation. Elon's ability to articulate such bold visions gives his teams a sense of purpose and a North Star to guide their work. These audacious goals push them to think beyond what's currently possible and inspire them to pursue solutions that others might deem too difficult or impractical. This focus on big ideas is what drives Elon to pursue technological advancements that have the potential to change the world. By thinking in terms of grand missions rather than incremental improvements, Elon inspires his teams to tackle the most challenging problems of our time. Elon's success is not just the result of his own brilliance, it's also about the incredible teams he has built. One of Elon's core principles is to hire the best people and give them the freedom to innovate. Rather than micromanaging his teams, he empowers them to take ownership of their work and to challenge the status quo. Elon has often spoken about his approach to hiring, emphasizing the importance of bringing in people who are not only talented but also driven by the same sense of purpose and mission that fuels his own ambition. At Tesla, for example, he's brought in engineers and designers who are passionate about creating a sustainable future, while at SpaceX, he has assembled a team of aerospace pioneers who share his vision of making space travel accessible. However, it's not just about hiring great people. Elon also fosters a culture of innovation within his companies. He encourages open communication, cross-disciplinary collaboration, and a fearless approach to risk-taking. Failure is not penalized, but rather seen as an opportunity for growth and improvement. This culture encourages creativity and encourages employees to bring their wildest ideas to the table. Whether it's reusable rockets at SpaceX or the Cybertruck at Tesla, the best ideas are often born from this culture of freedom and experimentation. Innovation isn't just about dreaming big, it's also about making things work more efficiently. One of Elon's key innovation strategies is his relentless focus on solving problems in the most efficient and cost-effective ways possible. Whether it's creating affordable electric vehicles, reducing the cost of space travel, or building an efficient tunnel system with the Boring Company, Elon is always looking for ways to streamline operations and maximize impact. This focus on efficiency has been a hallmark of his work at Tesla and SpaceX, where he constantly challenges his teams to rethink how things are done and find ways to improve. Elon's commitment to solving problems with elegant solutions has led to some of the most remarkable innovations in modern history. From the electric motors in Tesla's cars to the Starship rocket at SpaceX, every project reflects his passion for creating efficient, sustainable, and cutting-edge technologies. Elon Musk's approach to innovation is not about waiting for inspiration to strike, it's about following a clear process that allows creativity and problem-solving to flourish. By questioning everything, embracing failure, setting bold goals, hiring top talent, and focusing on efficiency, Elon has created a track record of groundbreaking technological advancements. For anyone looking to innovate or disrupt an industry, Elon's process offers invaluable lessons. Innovation isn't an accident, it's the result of a methodical approach that involves tackling the biggest challenges, experimenting relentlessly, and staying focused on the end goal. If there's one thing we can learn from Elon Musk, it's that the future is created by those who are willing to dream big, fail fast, and work tirelessly to turn their vision into reality. In the world of high-stakes innovation, leadership is more than just managing people, it's about inspiring them to do what others deem impossible. Elon Musk is not only a visionary inventor and entrepreneur but also a master of leadership, known for his unconventional yet highly effective approach to guiding his teams. Whether it's Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, or The Boring Company, Elon has consistently built companies that seem to defy the limits of what's possible. But behind the groundbreaking innovations and towering successes lies a powerful leadership style that has motivated and pushed teams to their very limits. In this chapter, we take an in-depth look at Elon's leadership approach, examining the principles, habits, and strategies that have allowed him to inspire his teams to take on the world's most ambitious projects. We'll explore how he fosters innovation, resilience, and a relentless drive for excellence among his employees, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. One of the most striking features of Elon Musk's leadership style is his ability to lead by example. Unlike many CEOs who remain distanced from the day-to-day operations of their companies, Elon is known for getting his hands dirty. He is deeply involved in the technical and operational aspects of his companies, working side by side with engineers, designers, and scientists. At SpaceX, for instance, Elon is often seen on the factory floor, engaging directly with the engineers to troubleshoot problems or improve designs. He has been known to work grueling hours, sometimes spending up to 100 hours a week overseeing projects. His dedication to the mission inspires those around him to go the extra mile, as they see that their CEO is just as committed as they are. Elon's hands-on approach sends a clear message to his teams: no task is beneath anyone, no matter their role or title. By demonstrating his own work ethic and passion, Elon motivates his employees to work harder, push the limits, and achieve things that they never thought possible. This level of commitment has earned him respect from his teams. They know that Elon is not just asking them to do the impossible, he's doing it himself. This creates a culture of mutual respect, where everyone pulls together to achieve their shared goals. Elon Musk is known for setting incredibly high standards. At Tesla, SpaceX, and other ventures, he has demanded excellence from his teams, pushing them to accomplish feats that would seem impossible to others. His approach to goal setting is ambitious, sometimes bordering on the audacious, but he has consistently proven that it is possible to achieve great things when you demand the best. While some may view Elon's high expectations as harsh, they have proven to be a driving force for innovation and success. At Tesla, for example, Elon set an aggressive goal to produce a fully electric car that would be both affordable and desirable to consumers. This was a challenge that had stumped the automotive industry for decades. Yet, with Elon's leadership and insistence on excellence, the Model S, Model 3, and other Tesla vehicles became benchmarks for the entire industry. Elon's insistence on perfection in engineering, design, and execution pushes his teams to create groundbreaking technologies that exceed expectations. While this level of rigor can be stressful, it also fosters a culture of innovation, where employees feel compelled to contribute their best ideas and solutions. Elon's expectation of excellence doesn't end with product development. It extends to every part of his companies, from manufacturing processes to customer service. He is known to personally address complaints and issues, ensuring that no stone is left unturned in the pursuit of perfection. At the core of Elon's leadership is his ability to foster a culture of innovation. In the fast-paced world of technology, creativity and forward-thinking are the keys to success. Elon has created an environment where employees feel free to think outside the box, experiment, and challenge existing paradigms without fear of failure. At SpaceX, for example, innovation is not just encouraged, it's essential. The company's mission to make space travel affordable and accessible has led to some of the most groundbreaking innovations in aerospace technology, such as the reusable rocket. Rather than simply improving existing rocket designs, Elon pushed his team to completely rethink the way rockets are built, leading to a radical change in the industry. Innovation is also central to Tesla's approach to electric vehicles. From the autopilot system to the Cybertruck, Tesla's design philosophy is all about pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo. Elon encourages his engineers and designers to experiment with cutting-edge technologies and come up with solutions that others would consider impossible. By creating a culture where failure is seen as a learning opportunity, Elon has built companies where risk-taking is embraced, and bold ideas are celebrated. Employees at his companies are not punished for failure but are instead rewarded for their creativity and willingness to take on new challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of Elon's leadership is his ability to instill a sense of mission and purpose in his teams. Whether it's Tesla's goal of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy or SpaceX's mission to make life multiplanetary, Elon's employees are driven by a greater cause, one that goes beyond just making money or meeting quotas. Elon is deeply passionate about his missions, and this passion is infectious. He communicates his vision clearly, ensuring that everyone on his team understands the bigger picture. This sense of purpose inspires his teams to work tirelessly toward their goals, even when faced with setbacks or challenges. At SpaceX, for instance, employees are not just working to build rockets, they're working to make humanity a multiplanetary species. This lofty goal gives every task, no matter how small, a sense of significance and meaning. Similarly, Tesla's mission to create sustainable energy solutions for the world has attracted employees who are committed to changing the world for the better. By aligning his team's efforts with a larger purpose, Elon creates a workforce that is not just capable of accomplishing the impossible but is also deeply motivated to do so. Elon Musk's leadership is also defined by his emphasis on resilience. In industries like space travel and electric vehicles, failure is common. Projects can fail, schedules can slip, and obstacles may arise. But Elon teaches his teams to adapt and keep moving forward. At SpaceX, the road to success was filled with failures. The early rockets exploded, and the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Yet, Elon and his team showed incredible resilience, learning from each failure and improving their designs. This resilience ultimately led to SpaceX's historic success, such as the first successful landing of a reusable rocket. Elon also encourages his teams to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. In the fast-paced world of technology, flexibility is essential. Elon's companies must pivot and adjust strategies when necessary, and he ensures his teams have the resilience to embrace change and keep pushing forward. This resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity is a hallmark of Elon's leadership, and it's one of the reasons his teams can continue to accomplish things that many would consider impossible. Elon Musk's leadership style is not about traditional management techniques. It's about creating a culture of excellence, innovation, resilience, and purpose. By leading by example, setting high expectations, fostering creativity, and encouraging adaptability, Elon has inspired his teams to take on the most ambitious and difficult challenges imaginable. For anyone seeking to lead with impact, Elon's principles offer a blueprint for creating teams that are motivated by a common mission and driven to achieve the impossible. Leadership isn't just about giving orders, it's about inspiring others to rise to their fullest potential and work together toward a shared vision. In the world of high-tech innovation, failure is often seen as the ultimate setback, a sign that something has gone terribly wrong. But for Elon Musk, failure is not the end, it's simply another part of the process. He has repeatedly shown that failure, when approached correctly, can be one of the most powerful tools for learning, growth, and eventual success. This chapter delves into Elon's unique perspective on failure, how he embraces it, learns from it, and uses it to fuel his personal and professional growth. We'll explore the role that failure plays in Elon's approach to innovation, leadership, and problem-solving, and how his willingness to fail has led to some of the most remarkable technological breakthroughs of our time. One of Elon Musk's most famous quotes is, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." This statement captures the essence of his approach to failure. Failure is inevitable, and it's not something to be feared or avoided. In fact, it's a vital part of the innovation process. Elon believes in failing fast, meaning, if something is going to fail, let it fail early in the process. The faster a project fails, the quicker you can analyze what went wrong and move forward with a better solution. This philosophy encourages a rapid iteration cycle, where mistakes are not viewed as disasters but as learning opportunities that lead to greater success down the line. This mindset is particularly evident in SpaceX and Tesla, both of which have faced multiple failures in their journeys. For example, SpaceX experienced a series of rocket explosions early on, with the company losing several prototypes during testing. Instead of hiding from these failures or retreating, Elon and his team took a hard look at the root causes of each failure, used the insights to improve their designs, and moved forward with a better plan. By embracing failure as a natural part of the innovation process, Elon has been able to create a culture that values learning from mistakes and celebrates resilience in the face of adversity. Elon Musk's approach to failure is not about simply accepting it, it's about using it as a tool for growth. For Elon, the key to overcoming failure is to learn from it, quickly and thoroughly. When something goes wrong, Elon does not waste time dwelling on the negative aspects of the failure. Instead, he focuses on how to fix it and prevent it from happening again. At SpaceX, after multiple early failures with their Falcon 1 rocket, Elon and his team didn't just throw in the towel. Instead, they went back to the drawing board, identifying weak points in their engineering and design processes. The third time they launched the Falcon 1, it was successful, and the company continued to grow from there. This iterative approach to failure allows for rapid improvements and fosters a mindset that is focused on solution-oriented thinking. Elon encourages his teams to see failure as an essential part of progress, urging them to ask, "What can we learn from this failure?" rather than simply attributing blame or feeling defeated. Perhaps one of the most important lessons that Elon Musk teaches through his approach to failure is the idea that failure builds resilience. For Elon, every failure is an opportunity to strengthen and grow stronger. This resilience is not just about bouncing back from setbacks, but about becoming more adaptable, more resourceful, and more determined to succeed. At Tesla, Elon has faced numerous challenges, from production delays to financial difficulties. There were moments when the company was on the brink of collapse, but each failure pushed him and his team to become more resilient and to find creative solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. During the early days of Tesla, when the company was struggling with production challenges for the Model 3, many critics predicted that the company would fail. However, Elon refused to give up. He brought the team together, working alongside them on the factory floor, helping troubleshoot problems and finding ways to streamline production. Tesla ultimately overcame these challenges, and today the Model 3 is one of the most popular electric cars on the market. Elon's ability to turn setbacks into opportunities for growth has been a key factor in his success. By building resilience through failure, Elon has shown that the road to success is often paved with obstacles, but it's the ability to bounce back that ultimately leads to victory. Elon Musk's approach to failure also involves a certain level of embracing the fear of failure. He recognizes that fear can be a powerful motivator. Instead of letting fear paralyze him, Elon uses it as a driving force to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. In his early days with SpaceX, Elon experienced a great deal of fear and doubt, especially after the first 3 rocket launches failed. There were many moments when he wasn't sure if the company could survive, let alone thrive. But instead of allowing fear to hold him back, Elon pushed forward, using that fear to drive him to succeed. This ability to push through fear and take calculated risks has been a hallmark of Elon's leadership style. Whether it's launching a reusable rocket, creating the Cybertruck, or venturing into the world of Neuralink, Elon consistently chooses the path that involves high risk and high reward. By acknowledging the fear of failure and choosing to face it head-on, Elon has developed a resilient mindset that allows him to take bold risks, innovate without hesitation, and lead his teams through the most difficult challenges. One of the most important lessons that Elon Musk teaches through his approach to failure is the idea that failure is not permanent. Elon's companies have faced many setbacks, but he's always managed to bounce back stronger than before. For Elon, the key to overcoming failure is not just about learning from it, but about knowing that failure is just a temporary obstacle on the path to success. At SpaceX, after a series of early rocket failures, the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. Elon had invested nearly all of his personal savings into the company, and the situation seemed bleak. However, rather than giving up, Elon pushed forward, believing that failure was simply a part of the process. By the fourth launch, SpaceX successfully achieved orbital flight, cementing its place in the history of space exploration. Elon's ability to persevere through failure has allowed his companies to rise from the ashes and achieve things that many thought were impossible. He shows his teams that failure is a part of life, but it doesn't define the end of the journey. What matters is how you respond, learn, and adapt. Elon Musk's approach to failure offers valuable lessons for anyone looking to innovate, lead, or simply pursue big dreams. Rather than fearing failure, Elon embraces it as an essential part of the learning process. He has shown that failure is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be the end. In fact, when approached correctly, failure can become the foundation for even greater success. For anyone striving to make an impact, Elon's mindset toward failure is a powerful reminder: failure is not permanent, failure builds resilience, and failure can be the key to unlocking your full potential. In a world driven by conventional wisdom and established methodologies, Elon Musk has chosen to approach challenges from a radically different angle. At the core of his ability to disrupt industries and create groundbreaking technologies lies a simple but powerful concept: first principles thinking. First principles thinking is a mental model that involves breaking down complex problems into their most basic, fundamental truths and then reasoning up from there. Rather than relying on analogy or established methods, Musk focuses on fundamentals: what is the core problem, and what are the simplest truths we know about it? He then uses those insights to build innovative solutions that challenge existing paradigms. In this chapter, we will dive into Elon's obsession with first principles thinking, examining how this approach has influenced his companies like SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. We will also look at the practical applications of first principles thinking in solving some of the most pressing problems of our time, from space exploration to sustainable energy. Elon Musk's approach to problem solving is rooted in the idea that the best way to innovate is to start from scratch. Instead of accepting conventional solutions or working within the constraints of existing technologies, Musk prefers to break down a problem into its most basic components and build solutions from there. For example, when Elon first set out to make space travel more affordable, he didn't just look at the current state of the aerospace industry and try to improve it incrementally. Instead, he asked a simple question: what are the core costs involved in building and launching a rocket? By examining the individual components of a rocket, from the materials used to the manufacturing process, Musk realized that rockets were unnecessarily expensive because they were being treated as disposable. Traditional rockets were launched once and discarded, making each launch prohibitively costly. Instead of accepting this norm, Elon reasoned from first principles: why not build rockets that are reusable? Why not design them in such a way that they can be launched, landed, and then used again? This insight led to SpaceX's breakthrough innovation with reusable rockets, which dramatically reduced the cost of space travel and set the stage for private companies to lead in space exploration. First principles thinking also requires a willingness to question assumptions that are commonly accepted as truths. Elon Musk's entire career has been a series of questioning established norms, in the auto industry, the space industry, and even the way we think about energy. Take Tesla, for instance. When Elon set out to build an electric car, many believed that electric vehicles, EVs, would never be able to compete with gas-powered cars in terms of performance, range, or cost. The industry had long assumed that gasoline was the superior energy source for vehicles, and the idea of electric cars as a mainstream option was viewed with skepticism. But Elon refused to accept these assumptions. Instead of trying to fit electric cars into the existing market, he decided to fundamentally rethink how an electric car could be designed. By starting with the basic principles of what makes a car work: energy efficiency, performance, and sustainability. He was able to create the Tesla Roadster and later the Model S, which not only rivaled traditional cars but outperformed them in several key areas. This ability to question assumptions and challenge the status quo is what sets Elon apart. He doesn't accept conventional thinking, especially when it comes to problems that seem too difficult to solve. By questioning assumptions, Elon finds new ways to approach old challenges. Another key aspect of first principles thinking is focusing on the fundamentals of cost and value. Elon has often said that his goal is to reduce costs and improve efficiency in every area of his businesses. This approach has been essential in his work at SpaceX and Tesla, where cost reduction has been a driving force in making space travel and electric vehicles more accessible. At SpaceX, for example, Musk realized that the cost of building a rocket was disproportionately high. Rather than accepting this as a given, he applied first principles thinking to deconstruct the process. By re-engineering the manufacturing process and focusing on the reuse of rockets, he reduced the overall cost of space missions, enabling more frequent launches and reducing the barriers to space exploration. Similarly, at Tesla, Musk challenged the industry's assumption that electric cars had to be expensive and niche. By examining the cost structure of electric vehicle manufacturing, Musk and his team focused on improving the efficiency of their production process, cutting costs while improving performance. This allowed Tesla to produce high-performance electric cars at a price point that could compete with traditional vehicles. Elon's focus on fundamentals, getting to the heart of the problem, has been crucial in solving complex challenges and making his companies more sustainable in the long term. Elon's approach to innovation is all about building from the ground up. He doesn't rely on the incremental improvements that characterize much of the tech world. Instead, he seeks radical solutions that completely reshape industries. Take Neuralink, for example. When Elon set out to develop a technology that could interface directly with the human brain, he didn't look at existing brain-machine interfaces and try to improve on them. Instead, he focused on the basic principles of the human brain and the core technologies needed to create a seamless, high-bandwidth communication system between the brain and computers. This first principles thinking has allowed Neuralink to tackle complex issues such as the brain's wiring and the interface between biological tissue and electronic devices. Rather than following the existing path of slow, incremental improvements, Neuralink aims to make huge leaps in brain-computer interfacing technology, which could revolutionize healthcare, artificial intelligence, and human cognition. Similarly, Tesla's self-driving technology wasn't built by simply improving on existing systems. Elon used first principles thinking to approach self-driving from the ground up, focusing on how human driving works and building an AI system that mimics human decision-making. This groundbreaking approach is what sets Tesla's autopilot system apart from traditional driver assistance technologies. At the core of first principles thinking is the ability to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable pieces. This method of decomposition allows Elon to solve seemingly insurmountable challenges, one piece at a time. When designing the Tesla Gigafactory, for example, Elon didn't approach the project as a single monolithic task. Instead, he broke the challenge into its fundamental components: land acquisition, construction, equipment sourcing, supply chain management, and more. By tackling each of these problems individually, he was able to systematically build the largest battery production facility in the world, significantly reducing the cost of electric vehicle batteries and making EVs more affordable for the masses. Similarly, SpaceX's Mars mission isn't just one giant goal, it's a series of smaller, interconnected challenges that must be solved one at a time. Elon has focused on breaking down the tasks into manageable pieces, from developing the Starship rocket to creating sustainable life support systems for Mars-bound missions. Elon Musk's obsession with first principles thinking has been instrumental in shaping his companies and leading them to the forefront of technological innovation. By focusing on the fundamental truths of a problem and questioning assumptions, he has been able to innovate radically, solve complex problems, and create technologies that transform entire industries. For anyone seeking to solve difficult challenges or innovate in their field, Elon's use of first principles thinking offers a powerful lesson: don't settle for what everyone else has done, start from scratch, question assumptions, and think about the problem from the ground up. As one of the most influential figures in the world, Elon Musk is known for his visionary ideas, his work in revolutionizing industries, and his relentless drive to push the boundaries of innovation. However, there's one aspect of Elon's life that often flies under the radar: his commitment to health and fitness. At 60, Elon is still known for his energy, focus, and work ethic, traits that are essential for someone managing multiple companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company. But what many don't know is that his physical health plays a key role in maintaining his mental sharpness and stamina. This chapter takes a deep dive into Elon Musk's health regimen, from his fitness routine to his diet, and explores how his focus on staying active and healthy has allowed him to remain at the top of his game, even as he gets older. Elon Musk has never been one to follow the latest fitness fads or subscribe to extreme workout routines. Instead, his approach to fitness is about consistency rather than intensity. He's not necessarily focused on working out for hours at a time or pushing himself to his physical limits every day. Instead, his routine is designed to keep him moving, energized, and fit, without taking up too much of his time. Elon's fitness philosophy centers around maintaining a balance between physical activity and his workload. He's known to prioritize time efficiency, using his limited hours to make sure his body stays in good shape while still leaving plenty of time to focus on his companies and personal life. Rather than hitting the gym for long workouts, Elon might fit in short bursts of exercise throughout his day, whether it's a quick run or using a rowing machine at home. He often mentions how easy it is to incorporate small moments of movement, even during the busiest days. These seemingly small actions add up, helping him stay active and energized without feeling overwhelmed by the demands of exercise. Elon's consistency is key. He doesn't let his age or his jam-packed schedule get in the way of staying active, and he doesn't try to overcomplicate things. It's about small, steady efforts that build up over time. While Elon isn't known for obsessing over every detail of his diet, he does place a strong emphasis on the foods that fuel his body. Like many successful people, he understands that nutrition plays a significant role in maintaining mental and physical performance. Elon has shared that he typically follows a relatively simple eating routine, focusing on foods that keep his energy levels high and support his busy lifestyle. He doesn't have a strict diet, but he has certain preferences that he believes help him stay sharp and active. One notable aspect of Elon's diet is his love for protein-rich foods. He often eats foods like eggs, chicken, and fish, which provide him with the sustained energy he needs throughout the day. Elon has also mentioned that he enjoys a good steak, especially after a long day of work. This choice may also be rooted in the fact that protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, which becomes more important as we age. Elon isn't one to follow any fad diets or trendy eating habits. Instead, his diet is focused on providing him with the fuel he needs to stay active and focused on his work. He recognizes the importance of eating well to support the mental clarity needed for his demanding schedule. In addition to his love for protein, Elon has also been known to enjoy smoothies and juices for a quick burst of energy. These drinks, filled with vitamins and minerals, help him stay hydrated and keep his body in a state of optimal functioning, especially during long days. While many high achievers sacrifice sleep to work longer hours, Elon Musk is a strong believer in the importance of quality sleep. He has mentioned in interviews that he aims for around 6 hours of sleep each night, which allows him to feel refreshed and ready to take on the challenges of the day. Sleep is critical for physical recovery, mental clarity, and overall well-being, and Elon has emphasized how important it is to get quality rest to maintain his high level of performance. He's not one to skimp on sleep in an effort to stay productive. He understands that rest is essential for the brain to function at its best. In addition to getting enough sleep, Elon has also spoken about how he uses his time before bed to unwind and relax. This might include reading, spending time with family, or simply disconnecting from the day's work. Taking time to relax and recharge is an important part of his overall health routine. Being in charge of several high-profile companies and tackling some of the world's most ambitious projects, stress is a natural part of Elon Musk's life. However, he has developed several strategies to manage stress effectively and avoid burnout. One of Elon's main approaches to managing stress is to focus on the bigger picture and not get bogged down by daily setbacks. His ability to think long-term and maintain a focus on his ultimate goals helps him stay grounded, even when the pressure is high. Elon has mentioned that he uses mindfulness techniques to help reduce stress, including meditation and deep breathing exercises. These simple but effective practices help him clear his mind, relieve tension, and regain focus. He also has a strong support system, including his family and close colleagues, which helps him navigate difficult moments. His ability to delegate and trust his teams also reduces the pressure he faces, allowing him to focus on the areas where he can make the greatest impact. By managing stress in a healthy way, Elon is able to maintain his physical health and mental sharpness, both of which are essential for staying active and engaged in his work. As he's gotten older, Elon has placed more emphasis on regular checkups and preventative care. Staying on top of his health and ensuring he addresses any issues early on is key to maintaining his physical well-being. Elon has said that he doesn't wait for problems to escalate. He prefers to get ahead of any potential health issues with regular doctor visits, blood tests, and health screenings. This proactive approach allows him to address health concerns before they become major problems, helping him maintain his energy levels and continue performing at his best. Elon Musk's approach to health and fitness is grounded in the idea that maintaining physical and mental well-being is essential for long-term success. By staying consistent with his fitness routine, prioritizing proper nutrition, managing stress, and getting quality sleep, Elon has created a lifestyle that allows him to continue achieving at the highest levels. His commitment to health serves as a reminder that achieving great things requires balance. It's not just about working hard, it's about taking care of your mind and body so that you can sustain that hard work for years to come. As the final chapter of our journey into the life of Elon Musk, we arrive at the heart of what drives him, his philosophy of life. It's no secret that Elon is one of the most ambitious and driven individuals on the planet, but what is it that fuels his drive to reshape industries and solve some of the world's most challenging problems? The answer lies in his deeply ingrained belief system and the principles that guide his actions each day. While much has been written about Musk's innovations and successes, what often gets overlooked is the mindset and worldview that propel him forward. In this final chapter, we will explore the core philosophies that shape his life and how they've allowed him to stay focused, grounded, and motivated to change the world. Even as he nears his 60s. Elon Musk's worldview is deeply rooted in the belief that we must focus on the future if we are to create meaningful progress. This forward-thinking mentality drives every decision he makes, whether it's launching reusable rockets or revolutionizing the auto industry with electric vehicles. For Musk, the future isn't just an abstract concept, it's something he actively works toward. He believes that in order to solve today's problems, we must prioritize innovation and look beyond what is currently possible. This philosophy is especially evident in his work with SpaceX. The goal of colonizing Mars is a direct manifestation of Elon's drive to secure humanity's future. Elon's focus on the future isn't just about technology, it's also about survival. He has often spoken about the existential risks that humanity faces, from climate change to the potential destruction of Earth. For Elon, these challenges are opportunities for innovation. Instead of being overwhelmed by global crises, he approaches them with the mindset that technology and human ingenuity can provide solutions. Throughout this book, we've seen how first principles thinking has played a critical role in Elon's ability to innovate and disrupt industries. This philosophy is at the very core of how he approaches problems, by breaking down complex challenges into their most basic components and reasoning up from there. Elon Musk applies first principles thinking not only in his business ventures but also in his philosophy of life. He challenges assumptions and traditional ways of thinking, constantly asking himself, what do we know to be true, and what is the simplest, most efficient way to get there? This mindset has helped him create groundbreaking solutions, like the reusable rocket and electric vehicles. In a world where many people get caught up in incremental changes, Elon's commitment to first principles thinking allows him to see beyond the surface and identify radical solutions to complex problems. It's this approach that has led to some of his greatest successes and continues to guide his decisions as he works toward his ambitious goals. Elon Musk is no stranger to failure. In fact, his journey is marked by a series of setbacks and challenges that would have discouraged most people. But Musk's philosophy of life is rooted in a deep belief in perseverance and resilience. From early on in his career, Elon encountered numerous obstacles, from rejection to bankruptcy. At one point, SpaceX faced multiple failed rocket launches, and many believed the company would go under. Similarly, Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy in its early days, with the company struggling to produce cars at scale. But Elon's resilience in the face of adversity is one of the defining characteristics of his success. Instead of giving up, he chose to keep pushing forward, learning from his failures and using them as stepping stones toward eventual success. This growth mindset allows him to maintain his focus and optimism, even when things look bleak. Elon's perseverance isn't just about personal resilience, it's also about creating a culture of perseverance within his companies. He encourages his teams to embrace failure and learn from mistakes, recognizing that failure is often a necessary step on the path to innovation and success. At the heart of Elon Musk's work is a deep desire to make a positive impact on humanity. From his efforts to create a sustainable energy future with Tesla to his mission to establish a human presence on Mars with SpaceX, Elon's ultimate goal is to improve the human condition. His belief in making a difference extends beyond the products he creates. Elon wants his work to inspire future generations of engineers, innovators, and scientists to think boldly and take on the biggest challenges facing humanity. This philosophy is evident in Musk's desire to tackle difficult, long-term problems, such as climate change, energy sustainability, and space exploration. Instead of focusing on short-term profits or immediate success, Elon takes on projects that require decades of work, projects that could revolutionize the world for generations to come. For Elon, it's not just about building successful companies, it's about creating a legacy of positive impact that will be felt for centuries. Despite his numerous ventures and the incredible demands on his time, Elon Musk is known for his ability to stay focused on his goals. His philosophy of life includes a deep commitment to time management, because, for Elon, time is the most valuable resource. Elon uses a strategy called time blocking to manage his schedule. By breaking his day into 5-minute intervals, he ensures that every moment is spent working toward his goals. This level of focus allows him to be productive and efficient, even with the overwhelming number of responsibilities he holds. But Elon's focus isn't just about managing time, it's about prioritizing his most important objectives. He believes that in order to achieve his ambitious goals, he must focus on what matters most and delegate or eliminate distractions. This has allowed him to stay on track and pursue his long-term vision, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. Elon Musk's philosophy of life is built on a foundation of vision, resilience, and focus. His commitment to creating a better future for humanity, combined with his ability to think from first principles, has allowed him to achieve incredible success. But perhaps most importantly, Elon's philosophies remind us that change, the kind that reshapes industries and transforms society, requires a long-term, unwavering commitment to what we believe is possible. As Elon continues his work, we can learn valuable lessons from his approach to life: think boldly, embrace failure, and never lose sight of the big picture. Through his relentless pursuit of innovation, Elon Musk has not only built companies but also created a movement, one that encourages us all to think bigger and reach further. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough?